Steelers played Green Bay. Or when was this now? It was on Thursday of last week. Feels
Thursday
like
into Friday for us.
like kind of a lifetime ago at this point. But that's what you get when you play on Thursday. This happens to us every year. But man, it felt good to have a little bit of Steelers football back for as little as it was. But this, to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe this was just following on from the Hall of Fame game hype that I had before that game, felt like one of the best Steelers preseason games that I'd watched ever.
Oh man, this was totally a different experience, wasn't it? I mean, firstly, it's nice to be back. Our first game review of the season. You know, this is what we do. This is the bread and butter of this podcast, is going over the games. So welcome to any new listeners. This is what we do for every game. Go through the game, maybe in too much detail. I don't know, but it's nice to be back, and I enjoyed going back through the All 22. Do we always have All 22 for the preseason? I don't remember having it before. Maybe
I think we had it last year, but
did we have it last year? I can't remember. Maybe we did. Makes a massive difference. But this was it. The first time we've had an offense for a long time, a long time,
ever, in my experience,
ever. I mean, they sputtered and had a few sacks to begin with, but once they got rolling, oh my god, oh my days, we're back, we're here. Ketts,
it was beautiful.
Ketts, tell us how you feel for having not been around for the Killer Bees, which was the last time the Steelers were any good on offense. How did this feel, this game?
How did I summarize it? I wrote something down to summarize this point. A somewhat enjoyable Steelers game, no threat, stress, or tension. Time in possession, just nice control. It felt awesome, and it's very much the definition, like we've been talking about, of grown-ups in the room now in terms of the coaching, and it just felt night and day from every other Steelers game that I've ever watched. And I'm trying to have the Kenny Pickett preseason at the back of my mind, and
don't believe the hype. Forget that. That's a red herring. This is genuine.
How do we know this isn't?
This is genuine offensive football. You can see they're taking the shots on 4th and 1. You know,
yes,
that was good.
The creativity, the not being scared, the not conservative, having a plan, having concepts that are sophisticated and grown up. And this is preseason. This isn't even the Mike McCarthy fever dream. This is just, let's just do what we can out here and get some nice snaps. But it just felt finally like I've often said, like a football offense is like an organism that's trying to stay alive. It's desperate. It's like something that's trying to breathe, right, and just stay alive. And Steelers football for the last 10 years, that's been a real struggle. Like it's been every time they get a new set of downs, it's a massive relief. Whereas this offense, I can see, we had 3 quarterbacks come through the game, played with different plus and pros and cons or whatever, but it didn't matter. The play calling, the scheme was there for them. They could stay in the scheme. The scheme was giving them opportunities. There was slants and simple gimmies that were just moving the ball downfield. There was layering of play calling, so you were getting runs and play action, and then the deep shot, and a little bit of, not too much disguise, but a little bit of not the defense not quite knowing what's going to happen next. This is a new era, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's you got to temper expectations a little bit because of the scenario it was in, certainly, but it was very encouraging. Certainly, I think, as you say, there were some offensive line blips, and I'm sure we'll talk about them in a bit more detail in a bit. But on the whole, I liked a lot of what I saw, and again, we'll talk about the quarterbacks in a bit as well. But certainly encouraged by what I saw from 2 individuals in particular. So yeah, I'm very encouraged, very aware of what the situation is. But as you say, this isn't going to be McCarthy's full game plan he's putting out there. So I'm excited to see how this offense grows from there.
Having said that, I think the downside were the penalties, right? And
oh my god, it was ridiculous.
Is that the shadow side of having a more sophisticated, more complicated offense? Is that you're going to get more penalties, and especially in preseason, in the early start of the season when the team isn't quite on the same page? Do you think that, or is it just a bad luck?
Well, I think most of it was bloody special teams, wasn't it? Like the special teams penalties were the ones that were...
Valtanu had a couple of howlers, didn't he? The false start and the holding, of course, wiped off the touchdown.
Yeah, but
tough game for him.
You give them the benefit of the doubt preseason week 1, but then by preseason week 2 and 3, I want it to be a lot more kind of, right, we're playing NFL football in 3-4 weeks, guys. We need to be like actually on it and play very professionally.
Yeah, shake the
And I'm
rust
sure
off.
that it will be, a cleaner game against the Jets coming up. But yeah, it's definitely something that will have been like, I think there was talk about McCarthy's like 6 things. Well, that might be his 7th thing in terms of the penalties. It's got to be cleaner.
Right. So, any other sort of top level thoughts before we get into? I mean, I thought it was interesting that did Rodgers not play because Metcalf and Pittman weren't available?
That's apparently what
that's what they
the
said.
reasoning that was given for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I read. He said combinations of personnel were a significant factor, i.e., they wanted the 2s out with the with Rudolph and the 3s out with Howard and the 4s out with Aller, and they didn't want to start getting out of sync with that. Do you believe that?
I kind of believe it. I get it. And especially now that, these next weeks we're probably going to see some of the younger guys, so we might not even see any of those guys. We might not see Rodgers, might not see Metcalf, might not see Pittman in any of these preseason games. So I could probably, I can get on board with that reasoning. I can definitely believe that reasoning is true. Yeah.
Do you want to get into the quarterbacks, or have you got some more top level thoughts?
I've got no more top level thoughts. If we can, I think these quarterbacks are definitely worth a huge talk about.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
It's what we came into the preseason most excited and most interested to learn about, and I think we certainly learned a lot in this game, right?
Oh,
yeah,
loads. Yeah. Mark, you're a Howard stan. How did you think Howard went? Let's start there.
I think Howard went fine. Just looked pretty comfortable. Didn't really make any major howlers. It's just sandwiched between Mason, who was running out with these firsts, and did an all right job actually. I didn't think Mason did too bad of a job really in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, had some difficulty with the line, but then sandwiched between that and between Drew Aller, who really did like he was kind of like the shining light of it all. Really had some of the big time moments. But I think in between that, I think Will Howard did a really, really serviceable job. Really not too much to worry about. Some issues bailing out here and there that maybe didn't need to. But other than that, I think his throws were mostly on point and played pretty well. I think we now look at him as the guy that's if this team's only going to keep 3 quarterbacks, we've said is Howard the one that could be playing for his Steelers life here, and he's got a very important role coming up in the Jets game, but he definitely didn't do anything in this game to kind of dissuade from having a chance. He didn't completely ruin his chances in this one.
No, definitely not. Live or shortly after I'd watched it live, I thought that Aller had the better game than Howard.
I think. Well, do you think differently now? Or?
Upon watching back, going through, I think it was more even than my initial. I think Aller had the big plays, but do you remember going in? I said what we've got to watch out for is we want more big plays from Howard, and we want more operational, more accuracy, more dink and dunk from Aller. They're not competing directly because they're coming from different places, and I think actually Howard showed a little bit more of that in some of those throws to Tonyan. All right, Tonyan was wide open in those passes. They weren't tight window throws. And, there is a lack of zip on the ball for me from Howard. I don't see him, zinging it in there. But I did think that Howard overcame adversity, which is what we were expecting. Like when things go wrong, he's going to make the right decision. And there was just a smoothness to his game. I think there were some warts in Aller's game that I didn't see live, and watching back, I thought, okay, actually, the problem with Aller is he's boom and bust, and actually the bust is still there.
So what sort of things with Aller concerned you still in this performance? Because I thought the biggest thing for me, as an also ran when it comes to quarterback tape watching, it felt to me like I was most reassured that both of these guys, Will Howard, obviously we expected it from, but we'd obviously never seen it, and Drew Aller, we really didn't know what to expect, and we'd kind of been told that he was a bit of a mess. I was happy that the fundamentals seemed really calm. Neither of them felt like the moment was too big. There was no like collapse. There was no mistakes that led to more mistakes. It felt like they were very in rhythm, very in time. Both were hitting good, even when plays didn't come off, they were making smart decisions with the football. That's the main thing that I took away from it from both Aller and Will Howard. But it's interesting that you say that about Drew Aller. What was it about Drew Aller that stuck out to you watching the tape back that maybe Will Howard doesn't have those kind of...
I think it was more a case of me getting hyped in the game and getting excited for this kid that's got so much zip and can really sling it. And then just, I think, watching back, you see some of the things where he's sailing balls in the fourth quarter, some of the stuff under center. I think that's got to be a point of emphasis. He's used to playing shotgun, isn't he? And, I want to see clean, accurate throws. I want to see better operation. But to be fair to him, the second time under center, the boot action rollout, that was a nice off-platform throw to a dude called Jaqueen Davis. Didn't know he existed until I watched the game back on 2nd and 7. But then, he's sailing some shotgun first read passes. That shouldn't be happening. He's come from college. Shotgun first read, that should be his bread and butter. So it's the inconsistency that we saw at Penn State coming back.
Right.
There's some nice throws that he did make, but some of them were scheme throws. I didn't see that much going through progressions. I saw Howard going through progressions. I saw Rudolph going through progressions. Didn't see Aller doing it, but he's a rookie, so But the off-platform throw when he did get off his first read and escape to the other side of the pocket, no pressure, but just a nice sort of shift throw, zinged it to Hurleman on the opposite boundary. So he can do it, and it's there. It's the potential is there. Made another decent half-field read, and then moved straight into pocket navigation. You saw the pocket movement, the noise navigation, escape that contact to get the ball away on 3rd and 3. I thought he handled a wide snap from Greg Crippen pretty well in the fourth quarter, which you like to see. I mean, it was a pretty bad one. And he switched to play when he saw a single high, and he changed something and went for the deep shot in the fourth quarter. So there's definitely things that you want to see. I did say that in the build-up as well. I want to see him switch a play, and I saw him. By the way, did you see the defensive holding that set up the second Drew Aller touchdown? It was called on Bartholomew, 34. I watched that play back from both the sideline and the cartel view about 10 times. I couldn't see Bartholomew on the field. I couldn't see the hold. And it just made me think this is all a conspircy to keep this driver.
The player wasn't even on the field?
I couldn't find him. but I, sometimes that happens. The game book's wrong. So that it might have been someone else and the game book's an error. But I couldn't see the hold. Could you see the hold? Do you remember what I'm talking about? Maybe not.
I think I know which bit you're talking about, and I think I remember it. Like, I thought I'd seen it. Maybe I'm thinking of a different hold.
There were two penalties that extended Steelers' drives, right? One in each half, I think. And it was the second one.
I'm thinking of one that
you're thinking of the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Couldn't see that one. Yeah. Simon, you've been a bit of a Aller doubter. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say Aller doubter. I'd say that I've just been, I've been schooled in the Mason Rudolph school of third round quarterbacks, and so maybe my hope hasn't been where it needed to be. But I will say that just imagine, and look, that's what the preseason's about. I think for me and for a lot of fans, right, is about the imagination of what could be. And what could be here, and what I think what's gripped the imagination of Yinzer Nation right now is the fact that Drew Aller looks, if you squint and you take your glasses and rub them against your nose a little bit, he looks like he's got the outline of a franchise QB. Don't say it. Right? But that is what the hype is, right? That's what the discussion is. That's what the people aren't saying but are saying with the discussion coming out of this game is that Drew Aller didn't shit the bed, right? And
yeah,
it's exciting. We all need to pump the brakes. We've said about Kenny Pickett. We know what that is, but it's exciting what could be. But let's not overlook Will Howard. I thought Will Howard had a really and
No.
you think Gav that Will Howard potentially even had a better game or a cleaner game?
I think all the quarterbacks have got the safety net of a Mike McCarthy offense, which Kenny Pickett didn't have with Matt Canada, did he?
Well, Mason Rudolph said that he was jealous of these two young guys having the structure that Mike McCarthy's offense provides.
And you can see it. I mean, it didn't matter which quarterback was in the game. McCarthy's going to look after them and call plays according to their ability, what they can do, the personnel groupings are. It's just higher level, the higher order offense. rather than Matt Canada just, let's just do a jet sweep and let's, have Kenny Pickett run into the rush. That'll work. We should talk about Rudolph. I mean, he was the starting quarterback in this game. I think I've seen some development from Rudolph since he's been back with the team. Now, I'm not saying his ceiling is expanded massively, but he was one of the problems he had in that 2019 run. He could not throw on the move for shit. Like, he was terrible at off-platform stuff, and he was doing some of that stuff. So that's something. Like, he's not quite as static. He's a little bit more mobile. What were you going to say, Mark?
Well, I was going to pose this question to you, Gav. I know it does feel like Mason Rudolph, I think to a lot of people, probably is somewhat of a lock for this team. But even if you think that, can you see why people are probably of the opinion that if there's three quarterbacks, it should be Aller and Howard after this game? Can you see why people?
I've always understood why people.
Even more so after this game, seeing them actually in action, doing as well as they did.
And maybe it's the safety of that offense, but the counter side is, Rudolph was against the 1.5s or the 2s of the team. Howard was against the 2s or the 3s, and Aller was against the 3s and the 4s. So it's going to be interesting this week. Let's see. We don't know exactly who have the Jets said who they're going to start up front. Are they going to start their starters? Probably not. But
they're starting Geno, so I don't know if they might be starting starters early on. Maybe, but with Will Howard as first half. So no Mason at all this week, which either I don't know what that suggests. I guess that just looking at it from this,
that says he's safe to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's got nothing to prove. It feels like he's got nothing to prove to me.
I guess it's just a case now of are these two? Is Aller the lock, and is Howard fighting to get 4 QBs on the roster now?
This is it. In my mind, there's literally only one person with any impact on this now, and it's Will Howard.
It's Will Howard.
Because Drew Aller is going to be he's basically locked in at QB3, right?
Feels like it, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers obviously the starter. The only thing left to be hashed out is, can Will Howard do enough to either A, say, Steelers, you don't need Mason Rudolph, trade him, or B, I'm good enough to bring some trade value myself, or C, keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Those are the only 3 options that I can foresee being possible. I don't think, I guess also 4, you could just cut Will Howard, but to me that would be a little bit shocking because, I don't know, it's too early to say because there's 2 more preseason games and he could completely crap the bed.
I don't think Will Howard makes the practice squad if you.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be shocking for the Steelers to outright cut Will Howard as well. And so the Steelers are left with that decision. The only person who really has any impact on that is Will Howard. How does he perform? Can he perform, exceptionally and really just put to bed any doubts that Will Howard can't operate an NFL offense and thus can't be the backup to Aaron Rodgers? In which case, maybe, and I know Gav thinks this is impossible, and I think it's very unlikely, that Mason Rudolph could be traded.
What about Howard being traded?
Right, and then that's option B, or then just keep 4 quarterbacks.
Because what do you realistically think Howard's ceiling is?
I just haven't seen enough.
Talking like that at this point to me is because do you look at Brock Purdy after 2 preseason games and say, what do you realistically think? Brock Purdy's ceiling is?
I'll give you the Brock Purdy thing. Why I love Brock Purdy in the draft and why I think he has become a franchise quarterback is he has some of the same issues as Howard in arm strength, but his risk-taking, gambling nature, and the way that he can just like run around and force a throw into a super tight window. That elevates him. Yes, he can't like drive the ball outside the numbers to the boundary and get those deep shots to with the zip that you like. But he's got something else. I'm not sure what Will Howard has that makes up. He's got it's all upstairs. It's in the brain.
Yeah, but Will Howard didn't really need to do that at Ohio State as well. That's the problem.
But can he? Do you see the zip?
You don't know. Yeah,
I don't think he. I don't think he's got the zip. I hate to say it. I wish you maybe need some steroid injections in his arm or something. Let me just give you his notes, right? So what I've got, I gave you Aller's. I'll go through the other guys. So he was 7 of 9 for 86 yards, and I thought he made some nice negative situation decisions, like throwing away, tucking, or eating sacks rather than coughing up and throwing picks. Right, a completely clean game, by the way, from all quarterbacks in this game, including Green Bay, which is kind of nice to see in some ways. I thought he's got a decent feel for pressure, but maybe that's a little bit too much. Like he tucked and run up the gut for 2 when he had Wheatgen open for way more. Right side of the line was dealing with a little bit of pressure, but it wasn't a collapse. The throw was there. Maybe he didn't like the linebacker rushing out into the space that could have possibly like jumped up and tipped it or something. But that speaks to me of a lack of confidence in his arm to get it to him. And then a similar throw earlier, he took underneath rather than layer the throw to the intermediate. So I'm just worried. He's a rookie, a second-year player, but playing like he's a rookie. I'm just worried he's a little bit too cautious. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's coaching. Maybe he's taking what's there. But I think it shows a lack of belief in his arm, and I think it's his ceiling. And then in the third quarter, with pressure in his face, he did throw a turnover-worthy pass. I don't know if you remember that one. He was very lucky to not get picked. I think he was closest to getting picked out of all of them, and he's the guy that's meant to be the safe pair of hands out of him and Allah. So I don't know.
What do you view then out of those 3 options as being the most likely now? Mason Rudolph traded, Will Howard traded, 4 quarterbacks just kept on the roster.
I actually think 4.
I think I agree at the moment, but it almost feels like I agree by default, right? And like, I don't know.
I do. I also agree, but then I think I need to do the 53-man breakdown and just be like, well, who's
really
going to
feel
suffer because of this? Yeah, somebody's one position is going to suffer for it, and we kind of laughed off the fact. I mean, the Browns had 4 quarterbacks on their roster, didn't they, last year? I think, and
but one of them was Tyler Gabriel.
Dylan.
I've made that mistake before. That wasn't even a joke.
I knew it didn't sound right.
Yeah, I know. I cannot get. I don't even see Dylan Gabriel as an actual legitimate NFL player. So my mind defaults. my mind defaults to a receiver from the mid-teens. Can I just give you Rudolph's notes that I've got just for completion's sake?
Yeah, please.
Then see what Ketts is saying. She hasn't spoken for a little bit. Then we'll hit some chat comments and then move on. I don't know how you feel. Right, Mason Rudolph.
I like this. We're moving at pace. Go.
Yeah, let's keep it going. Zipping ahead. 10 out of 11. Not bad. 93 yards through the air. Obviously, the start was a bit rough, but recovered from those early sacks.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen better field vision in this game than any other game from Rudolph. Tell me if I'm wrong. Third and 6, did like a semi-spot read, but you saw his like helmet strike flicking about before hitting that the 19-yarder to Scrobro on that first down, the one that got the drive started. Field vision on that play. I don't remember. He was just a first read merchant when he was in the Duck Hodges year. I think his vision, his processing has sped up, and that was demonstrated again on the 3rd and 2 to the Brandon Smith on the boundary. First read was on the other side of the field. Didn't like it. It moved over to Smith on the other side of the field. I don't think he ever did that once in that season when he was starting. And I thought he showed some better pocket movement. It's still not great, but he's not a statue, and he's got that big arm. I just think I just trust him. I just trust him more than I trust Howard and Allah. I know that's dull. I know there's going to get some hate in the chat. People want him off the team. I know it's boring, but I just think he is a competent quarterback.
Is he not ultimately just a progress stopper, though? I mean, if he was a wide receiver, wouldn't we just be like, well, why even bother?
I think it's a different position. I don't think. No, I think actually he's protecting. In some ways, he's protecting these young kids getting thrown out there too early to the wolves. So I think he's a progress
how early
saver.
Is too early? I mean, doesn't he? Aller, I guess, but then even I just don't know, man.
Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Geno Smith. These guys need
all
time.
Going well though. All going well. They won't be thrown to the wolves, but yeah, I get your point.
But just like, aren't we going to find ourselves in a situation again? This is whatever happens, right? Wherever we end up in the draft, aren't we going to find ourselves in a situation where we know there's going to be 5 or 6 quarterbacks going in the first couple of rounds at least, where we're sitting on our hands, sort of saying, "Well, we can't make a decision because we just don't know because we haven't played any of these guys, so we just don't know." Do you know what I mean? Don't we need to make a decision? We need to shit or get off the pot, right? We can't just hang on to all these quarterbacks like a jingling keyring and say, well, next year we need to put 6 on the 53 because we haven't played any of them.
I also think, like, from a mentoring perspective with Aaron Rodgers, like, that's great for Allah and Will Howard. What's Mason benefiting from this? Surely it would be more beneficial to keep these 2 young guys and have them, learn under Mr. Rodgers.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but
Friendly
I don't
neighborhood.
know. Like, I get it with Mason. I certainly get all the points about why you would keep Mason on this team. I just wish we'd gamble a little bit.
Just wish
Like,
we
you
could.
want Will Howard to gamble on the field. Like, I wish we would gamble with it a little bit more. It could, could end up backfiring in our faces, but at least we've said, we've given this a try, and we could, could find ourselves in a position where we actually do see what these QBs have got. At some point, you're going to have to throw them to the wolves. But, obviously, if they feel they're ready. But I don't know. It's such a tricky thing. I don't want to keep 4 QBs on the roster, but I feel like that's almost where we're heading with this. And it's, I don't know. It's almost like a positive headache to have, I guess, ish. But then not that positive. It's such a weird scenario, and it's just a little frustrating.
He reminded me of my scientist friend that said what we should really be spending money on rather than developing, proof of gain concepts with viruses is just develop a code that makes you feel good. Let's do that.
Idea.
Just let it out into the world. Yeah, that was.
Why have we never considered that? Have we ever considered that? Viral good stuff as opposed to virus.
Right.
Why virus is always bad?
Well, it's the man trying to keep us down. Big pharma, they want to sell us the drugs.
I agree.
Ketts, where are you on the quarterbacks?
Mason Rudolph is the man trying to keep us down.
Uh-oh.
He's big pharma.
Right. So the start of this game, gentlemen, like I've got to address this because I was like, oh, well, it's not started too well. It didn't not start too well. It started horrifically. You've got a guy that's supposedly the Steelers' backup quarterback. He's got no pocket management. He looked like a deer in the headlights. It was 3 and out, no first down conversions. In a McCarthy offense that supposedly makes life easier for these quarterbacks, he just holds on to the ball too long. That's a basic quarterback evaluation point. Yes, there was a nice completion over the middle to Bernard when he was backed up in his end zone. Same to Scobro on the 18-yard completion. And, the third down conversion to Brandon Smith on the quick out route, brilliant. I love to see that. But there was just like, even on like the throw in the end zone to Bernard, right? It was a broken sack and the throw to the end zone was good, right? But it was stupid quarterback play. He held onto the ball, nearly got sacked and had to throw out the sack. You give him credit for throwing out of the sack, but just don't be in that position to start with. That's why this week I'm excited to see Howard and Allah against the better quality competition, because I just look at Mason again and go, yes, fair enough. He got us into the postseason for one game for us to inevitably lose a few years ago, but it's still the same Mason Rudolph. Nothing's changed. As good as it is, as bad as it is, it's the same. And I'm just sick of it. And I know I've been the, Mason out guy on this podcast, and I know Gav's going to come back at me now, but I'm just looking at you look at him holding the ball, and it's just, the first thing with quarterback play is you've got 2.5 seconds, maybe 3 if you're lucky in this league. You don't even have that in the SEC, for Christ's sake. Like, you've got to get rid of the ball. And if McCarthy's making this offense easier for guys, is it just the case that Howard and Allah were able to do it because it was against the second, third, fourth team? Why can Mason not do that against the first team if he's the backup and he's going to be in a live NFL game and supposed to be able to play in this? That's exactly what if he's the backup, that's what his job is there to do. Something happens, Rodgers goes down, Mason's going to come in, and he got sacked twice for 17 yards negative. So he had 93 yards positive and 17 yards negative. I would rather have Allah or Howard that at least, they might not be fantastic in certain areas and they might still be learning, but at least if they're out there and learning in that real situation, they're going to mess up. And, at least then they're young enough to learn something about it. Mason Rudolph's not really learning. He's just repeating the same things. Yeah. And yes, Gavi's done some things better, but just the basics is still
it's
not
high,
good enough for me.
Not terribly low floor, not terribly high ceiling. But I'm not going to come back at you because I'm man enough to give you the final word. And what I think we'll do is we'll see what happens as we go down through the preseason.
I'm just here shouting at Clouds. I'm shouting at Rudolph here.
Right.
Will Howard, let's talk about that 2-minute drill. Great throw to Scobro on 4th and inches. He takes plays down the field comfortably.
What a surprise that was, by the way. That was, love that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. And he found Tonyan again for a big game. Then he found him again, threw into the blitz. Well, that little kangaroo step into the pocket, which is something McCarthy apparently teaches. Really love that. But 4 for 4 and 71 yards. You know, all his teammates acknowledged it. It was a beautifully threaded pass. That the one that was ruled out and 10 seconds taken off the clock. Why? What the hell is that happened, by the way? If that happens in the Super Bowl and there's 8 seconds left and it's ruled a touchdown, then cancelled out by rule because the refs are arguing about it and it was ruled short by 0.5 millimeter. If that happens in the Super Bowl with 8 seconds and then they take 10 seconds off the clock and that's the end of the Super Bowl, there would be absolute carnage in that stadium and in the NFL, quite rightly. So that rule needs looking at.
You don't like the 10-second
really
runoffs, huh?
Yeah, I really like the Howard.
Was that all a rally against the 10-second runoff?
That was the
have a
opening
timeout
pitch
then.
of a campaign.
Have a timeout.
You can time out. Yeah, if you've got the timeout. Is it different in
Called
the
clock
fourth quarter?
management,
I can't quite
Ketts.
remember. Yeah.
But then again, Tomlin never did that anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, Howard, I like the patient progression reading, the time in the pocket. I like how he manipulates the pocket. He's aware of that pressure either side, consistently attacks the line to gain. He's not just throwing it short. And yeah, throwing the ball away, give the receiver a chance. I like that. And then Drew Aller, great cadence to start with. Nearly caused a jump straight away with his cadence, considering that college quarterbacks come in and apparently can only clap and they can't have cadence. I'd like to see more cadence in the college game. But yeah, it's mad how young Drew Aller looks in the face, by the way. You look at it, it's like there's a 6-year-old out there playing quarterback. But
he doesn't text like a 6-year-old.
I like some of the promise that he showed. On the keeper, I almost don't want him to do that in preseason because I don't want him to put on tape that he can do that. It was a great fake, really well sold.
Something he did at Penn State, wasn't it? Sorry to stop you mid-flow, but that was part of his game at Penn State, wasn't he? He was not a bad go-ahead runner, right?
I didn't mention Penn State for going down a rabbit hole.
Okay. But yeah, that's very true, though. Yeah, that was kind of the one thing you could take away from him. As much as I was negative on Aller, that's one thing that definitely shone out of his game before.
Yeah. And I just like the kind of professionalism for me. Like he's driving in the fourth quarter, and he seemed to just carry on and keep putting good tape out there. Obviously, the throw to Wheatgen. And by the way, we talked in what do we want to see in preseason? A Wheatgen moment, and we'll probably come on to that in the receiver section of this. But yeah, nice little arm angle, good zip on the ball, good slant. Yeah, and then the pinpoint pass in the red zone in the fourth quarter for the sort of the Wheatgen touchdown that he got in on. Just a really easy looking touchdown at the end of a long drive. And then he doubled down on that with Nowakowski as well. So, yeah, I think it was a great performance by certainly 2 of the 3 quarterbacks.
Fair enough. Thanks. Nice notes there.
Can I just get you talk about a kangaroo step? I think I'd be more of a wallaby waddle.
Yeah, we definitely need some marsupial audit. It's where he steps up into the pocket and delivers.
Oh, that's
so
just
sort of
that's
the
a kangaroo
sideways.
Yeah, stepping up. All right.
Besides just calling that good quarterback play, but okay.
Right. Didn't realize those Gen Xers had given it a name. Wallaby waddle.
Those Gen Xers.
Gen X, that's me. I'm not giving it names. I'm saying that's
Gen Z.
Okay.
Who
Gen
are the
Z,
Zoomers?
like Mike McCarthy. Yes.
All right, let's give the chat a little thing. So, Tom says, how are his vibes looking post preseason game 1? Tempered. He remembers Pickett looking elite in preseason. I think we covered that, right? That's a different offense.
Do you know what I will say to this though? Talking about vibes, because I like the question. I think the vibes I would say with the Steelers are in a weird place in that they are really good internally, but we're also like no one's talking about us right now. Or if they are, it's very negative. Whereas in like last year, there was a lot of hype around like Aaron's with the Steelers now. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Everybody seems like they've written us off already, which I think is good for this team.
Didn't it feel? Did you feel like I did after this game ended? I was like, well, that's it. Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. Don't we always feel like that every time we win, though?
Yeah.
Haven't we done that basically every
Every
time we've
single
won a
time.
game on this podcast for the history of its existence?
And Lord
I
knows if
didn't
we
know
win comfortably. Oh.
I didn't know how to feel because it was the most comfortable win I remember in a long time, and I'm like,
One of those wins where you don't know where to put your hands. Just like, what do I do with my hands now? Like,
clip that. I don't care. Couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah.
Jason says, come back to me when the guys are playing against number 1s and 2s at least. I like that.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
fair enough.
see that on Saturday.
That.
No, not Saturday, Friday.
Classic cynic.
Gary, I was going to say, not getting carried away, but you can't help but feel a new wind is blowing through the team. Also,
Ooh.
let's trade Rudolph, can go with youth. 4 QBs is crazy.
Yeah. This guy gets it.
Tim Hodson says, how about 4 QBs this year, which may save us having to reach for one in next year's draft after another 9-8 season? Oh, Mr. Down over there. This isn't going to be 9-8 season. You're really saying that? Come back to me.
If it's 9-8, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason
rid of
comes
the
back,
guy.
says, happy to have 4. If you have 2 decent young QBs out of it, doubtful, then you have trade draft capital in hand. Yeah, I like
By the
that.
way, I would like to shout out Jason for watching us on his big screen tonight.
Hey.
And in the group chat. Thank you, Jace.
On the TV.
UKSP on TV. Maybe that's the next step.
Right.
Get us an ESPN.
I do think that's an angle. Like, one of these QBs might get traded in season, even if it's not,
Yeah, someone's
for
got to be
someone
traded
desperate,
immediately.
isn't it?
injury happens. And get,
Falcons might need someone for week 1. I don't know.
rinse someone, yeah.
Viable QBs have become so valuable. I think teams are scared almost to get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, how many times has Joe Flacco been cut only to be traded again?
Right. Yeah.
AFC North cheat code.
Tom says, wouldn't hate taking 4 QBs in the 53 for one season. And then Tim comes back saying, Rodgers mentoring Howard and Aller with measured appearances through the season. Next year, have a proper QB1 battle with Rudolph, which seems like a better fit for him. Fair enough.
Yeah. Good thoughts on the QB battle. We'll continue to observe it with interest. Should we talk about some of the rest of these positions?
Let's do it. Running back?
Because I was about to say, yeah, I think there's a running back. Is it time to accept that Lou Nichols actually is Caleb Johnson?
I think the running backs as a whole, just from a kind of 30,000 foot perspective, not the greatest night for them. I don't think the line play helped them at all, but I mean, very few yards per play. It was a bit, just not.
Well, I will say, I looked at that stat line from Lou Nichols. I looked at it and I went, 10 carries for 36 yards. I guess it was, it's kind of pretty average. But then I remembered they got to the goal line and they kept making him run for 0 yards full time. So actually, I feel like he had a kind of a better night than that. He impressed me every time he ran the ball, Lou Nichols. So
I'm kind of excluding Lou Nichols from that a little bit. But yeah, on the whole, I mean, everybody kind of got a little bit in there, and it just wasn't the greatest. It wasn't like god awful, but there wasn't really much to write home about, other than maybe. As
I can summarize this pretty quickly for you. Travis Homer's a special teamer. Caleb Johnson's a bum. Eli Heidenreich's on the practice squad, and Lou Nichols is good, and he's making the 53. Done.
Ooh, making the 53. That's tight.
Oh yeah, he's done.
I mean, he was great, wasn't he? But do you think this was a product of not much live tackling in the training camp, and this was for game 1, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better yards after contact, because even Nichols was only 3.6 yards per attempt. It wasn't an amazing Nichols. I mean, it was a good performance, don't get me wrong, and clearly the best running back in the game. But I
just thought he was the only one that looked particularly physical to me, And
right.
I guess that's not saying
well,
much.
this
I mean,
was
Caleb
the question,
Johnson
wasn't it? Where was the beef?
Well, this is that we went into the game obviously last week. We think about what we were talking about last week. We still thought Caleb Johnson was very much on the inside track to make this team, maybe, or was at least 50-50. Given what happened in this game, just logistically, not even performance-wise, he had 2 carries. He got in the fourth quarter. It would seem that Caleb Johnson is on the outs and he is not going to make this team.
It's really bad, isn't it?
And so
special team probably won't even save him. Yeah. Like it's man, you kind of feel for him, but yeah, like I can't believe just how he's wearing the black and gold. I feel for him, but it's just not worked out for whatever reason. It's something is not right. We kind of saw hints of it in game last season, but this new group has come in and he's obviously not impressed. Like it's so strange because that's not the guy we saw on tape either. So
he's unfortunately an obscure quiz question answer in 2028.
1.5 yards per attempt. I mean, it's just not going to get it done. Heidenreich was 2.3. Homer was 2. As I said, Nichols was 3.6. I mean, I'm just worried division isn't there, which is weird because he was a good, deep, like zone cut runner at Iowa. Maybe it was the line there deceiving us or something. Maybe we all got tricked that he was better than he was.
He did run behind the line quite consistently. I think obviously Dunker, it cleared a lot of space for him at Iowa, and I do remember looking back at the tape and going, wow, actually, like some of the holes Dunker created for him were ridiculous, and I think he benefited from that. Obviously Dunker's not going to do that to the same extent at the NFL level, and I just don't think he's got, like you say, the vision, the anticipation, just the burst. And there's some damn good running backs in this class coming up. Spoilers for the back to school episode, but yeah, there's some good quality coming up. So if you can get a better back in the third round next year, snap their hands off, I would have thought.
But yeah, I just worry. I do worry about him. I think he is really on the outside looking in now. So who knows?
Let's just stop. How about this? Let's stop drafting running backs in the third round. I've had enough of it. It's a bit of a dead zone, I think. Because I think there's a lot of great running backs you're going to find in late rounds that have, because it's such a.
Our 2 starters are UDFAs, so
you're right. It's such a trait-based. It's such a trait-based position that you're finding guys with great traits that are hidden gems in the late rounds, and then obviously you've got your really high pedigree guys that go early. Why do we keep just in this? We got your Dre Archers and your bloody Caleb Johnsons and these bloody no names that would be first rounders if they were actually good. I'm done with it. Stop drafting third-round running backs. You'll probably now give me an entire list of Hall of Fame third-round running backs, but I don't care. I'm over it.
Did you think we've got him up there on the Mount Rushmore of Steelers running backs, Lev Bell? Did you see that run, the touchdown?
Third rounder?
Yeah, no, he was second, wasn't
Thank
he? The touchdown that he had called back, he was channeling a little bit of Lev Bell there with the patience. Do you remember he ran behind the line, a little bit of like patience there, then bounced it out into the red zone 6 yard. Awesome change of direction, which I didn't necessarily associate with him prior to this game. I thought he was just a power back, like running, dynamic. But I do think he's the beef in the room. He was the one that was fighting through contact. 3 extra yards on that second quarter run had no business getting. I think that
he's got the bit between his teeth. You could tell. I think
he's the beef. He's the goal line hammer. He's the you've one of the guys wants to break. You bring him in, just tote the rock. He's the closer. End the game. You need a couple of first downs. He's your man. He's the answer. So I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Caleb Johnson's gone for me, and Nichols is making it.
Frank Gore and Alvin Kamara are your third round Hall of Fame.
I knew Kamara was one. He was literally the one in my head as I was saying it. But Frank Gore, I didn't remember. I thought, okay. That's still not that many, though.
Go back to what I said last week. You need a pair and a spare. So Caleb Johnson is not the spare.
Maiden fair.
And I hope Lou Nichols is potentially the spare.
I think Lou Nichols might be in position to be the spare. Yeah, I think he's got a great chance. It's just Travis Homer, I think, is the...
Well, he's the only special team coach cares. He's a
exactly.
Special team care.
Yeah, so
and Homer definitely had that NFL regular season experience. You could see like the patient early running, the key pass protection chip on the Rudolph to Bernard completion as well, like from a rushing aside perspective, but that pass protection upside, and then a nice reception on the easy third down as well. So I think Homer showed a little bit of everything in this game.
I think he's there in for one of those special team slots. Let's talk about Heidenreich. So he came in the fourth quarter, 9 attempts for 21 yards. He's good for like a yard through contact at the end, maybe less, against people that are moving furnitures and managing doors this time next year. I wanted to see a little bit more power through contact from him. Was he miscast? Like, it showed a little bit of lateral agility, but why were they running him through the tackles? Like, I don't think that's his role, is it? Was this just let's see if you can do it? And if that was the case, dude can't do it. Like, I want to see him as a pass catching back. I want to see him as a satellite back, like check downs, screens on passing downs. That's what I'm hoping we get to see out of him. I hope they use him like that this week, because I don't think it's fair, because he's not a between the tackles runner.
Yeah, it's a case of like it's costing him. You're operating relatively basic stuff. I don't think they're going to wheel out stuff where they're really going to take advantage of Hyde and Wright's skill set, are they? In the preseason,
No, exactly.
Well, let's see. You can always get that. Just he drifts out into the flat on what's meant to be a pass, and then the quarterback goes through the progressions and ends up checking down to him, and he makes something happen and gets a first down, and that's where Hyde and Wright's going to show. It's not just running into the line. It's just not going to happen for him.
He got 21 yards, 19 of them after contact. My God.
Yeah, I feel like he almost needs something to happen if it's going to happen in preseason on special teams, like we saw with Region with this sort of return game and that kind of thing. But he's not really had a chance to like properly return a kick yet. So I think that's when get him a yard of space and he just blasts past somebody. That will be where he makes his mark, if anything.
He's a space monster.
But I don't think he's.
Yeah, I want to see him in space.
Yet.
He didn't get into space in this game at all once, did he? Either on returns or in the run game. It's very base offense, and that's not where he's going to. He's got no chance of making the team. And he was injured a little bit in camp, wasn't he? And maybe it just feels like there's the deck stacked against him at the moment.
I can absolutely agree with that. As much as I really wanted to see him burst through, it's looking a little bit difficult, but I do also think he is a guy you could probably get away with stashing on a practice squad. I'm not as worried about him as I would be about others being picked up in waivers. Who knows? But it's maybe he can give more of an impact. I think you're right, Gav. I'd like to see him used in different ways, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, let's move on to some wide receivers. All righty.
Oh, one of my favourites. Mr. Jeremy Bernard. I really enjoyed what I saw out of Mr. Bernard in this one. Just as a starting point. Man was spinning for his life out there. Loved the spin.
4 catches for 51 yards, just for context. But carry on, please.
Yes, yep, no, absolutely, yep. 12.8 reception. But yeah, he was spinning for his life out there. Loved a good spin on him. But just really liked his contact balance, and just really thought he was solid in the targets that he took in. So I'm very excited for what he could produce, and I'm very excited to see him going forward in this preseason as well, particularly if we're not going to see any DK or Pittman. That's just going to play into his benefit to show that he can be a really reliable weapon. So more Bernard, please, more Guardian cap, Mr. Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, sticks out. For a guy that we've not heard too much about, buzz about in camp, it was very encouraging to see him look so professional, I guess, in the game.
He looked natural to him, didn't he?
He looked smooth, looked like he understood leverage, understood how to break at the point of contact with the DB. He was creating a lot of separation as a result of it. Just to me, honestly, just looked like a few steps ahead of where I expected, just based on the lack of buzz from camp. I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe this is a guy we need to hold our expectations on. Maybe Roman Wilson is going to hold this guy off for a significant period of time here, and we're going to have a bit more of a battle on our hands to see who gets some of the ball. And I think that's still going to be the case early on in the season. But from what I saw from Jeremy Bernard, this is a guy who certainly has the potential to be a heavy usage possession receiver kind of guy. And I don't know, it's kind of conflicting, right, with then some of the things I'm hearing out of training camp, even after the game, that I'm hearing that Aaron Rodgers is throwing his hands up and he's frustrated with Jeremy Bernard in some situations in practice. So, we shall see.
That's rookie stuff, I guess.
Well, I know, but with Rodgers is the only thing that concerns me, because we know what Rodgers is like with rookies, and he's not going to throw to the guy. He's not going to get on the field if he doesn't feel like he can trust him. So we shall see how all that translates to actual on-the-field action when it comes to the regular season, but very encouraging performance-wise.
He definitely bailed the team out when needed, when backed up in the end zone. 24-yard reception, refused to go down, shouldered down, broken tackle, stay in bounds, determination, all of that kind of SEC proven ability that I think Mark and I certainly saw on tape. The slant reception in the end zone, unlucky not to get a second foot down for what would have been a spectacular end zone grab. Ended up being an incomplete pass out of bounds. But I just love the potential with this guy. And that's for me why he was like I was hammering the table to draft this guy because I saw it on the Alabama tape and going back and watching some other tape on some other guys, he genuinely just pops off the tape. You can see it. And I'm like, I'm so glad this guy's in the black and gold now. So, yeah, I just really hope he shows something in the regular season when we get there.
He's definitely going to be... Oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've just seen what you were talking about, Si, with Kazora talking about the Rodgers, because I hadn't seen that report that Bernard, Rodgers throwing his hands up in frustration on Bernard and he false started as well. Which maybe could just be a bad day of practice, who knows? But yeah, exactly. But I get what Si says about Aaron Rodgers and how temperamental he can be. But very encouraged by what was on the field, at least.
Yeah, 4 of 5, 51 yards, long with 25. And I think the way he's going to get onto the team, if they're starting, if he's not a starter, which I don't think he will be, I think he'll be wide receiver 4, right? Unless he does, what do you think? Well, let's start there. Did he jump over Wilson with this performance?
I guess it's where you line Bernard up, though. Like,
well, it'd be slot, wouldn't it? I think.
I think Wilson's probably your natural slot receiver. I think Bernard is your
bit more
sort
of a move
third
around.
or 4th receiver. Yeah, he could definitely play like on the outside as well.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, sorry. Did you finish?
I was going to say, he's definitely got that like physical presence which you need to get on the field. It's not like, if you're throwing over the middle, contested catches, that like really congested zone, you throw it to Bernard, you don't even worry about him getting hit because he can take it. So
exactly, that's the point I'm going to make. I think his route onto the offensive field is being the weapon in the screen game. I can see him, if he's wide receiver 4, he's the guy you dial up plays for. If you think, okay, this is a time for a screen, you bring on Bernard because he's got that physical, fight through contact. We saw the spin move where he's escaping out. We've seen the cut, the first reception for 13 yards, savage cut inside. Man, his breaks look better than I remember from his college tape. He's slippery. He squeezed out of that tackle down the sideline. 25 yards of no business that he had making. So I think the screen game, you remember those plays where, it's like 4th and 1 with the Matt Canada offense and we're dinking it to Najee and he's like getting swamped by 4 dudes. Well, if that's the play you want to call up, I'd much rather have Bernard there than Najee or any of these other cats we've had doing it, because I think he might actually be able to escape or fight through. The sideline grab after working back to the quarterback was nice. Showed some maturity there, or some little bit of working back to the quarterback to help him out to get 7 yards on a 2nd and 8. That was a nice play. So yeah, it was an encouraging first game after what's been quite a quiet camp, hasn't it? Or it's not been much buzz. So it's nice to him to get some hype in an actual game. I'd much rather players show out in games than in camp.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, let's do it. Let's move on to Wheatgen.
That's what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah.
I think it's just that. I mean, we can talk about some of the other positives of this game, but that one run, I mean, every time I watched it, I got more impressed by what I saw. So he's physical when he breaks inside. The corner goes down, gets the ball. Looks like he even stumbles a little bit, but he is outpacing all these Packers defenders that have got the angle on him, and he still manages to get it down to the 1 yard line, which apparently is not good enough for Mike McCarthy, by the way, but we'll get onto that in a second. But it's so impressive, that one run. Like, every time I watched it, was just something new about it that took me by surprise. I was just like, wow, yeah, this guy, when he's got the ball in his hands, goodbye. Like, wow, absolutely awesome for him. Now, how much are we going to see that in a regular season? I think he's a lock just purely on his return capabilities, certainly. But if he's able to provide that as well on occasion in the receiving game, then, the new Calvin Austin is already here. His name is Caden Wheatgen. And I'm very, very excited to see more of that. But yeah, just that one in particular, which is obviously the big talking point of the game, I think. Watch it time and time again, because it's just something new will pop up every time for you. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, if you go back to our post-draft analysis video on him, you'll hear us all talk about his cut and his weave and his angles as he's running with the ball, and that was on display. It's like elite crease finding and just subtle shifts of just how he's running, just to take himself out of tackle range and make tacklers look stupid. But what we didn't see is we barely saw much receiver play, and I think the DB slipped because of Wheatgen's, however you say it, Wheatgen, right? Wheatgen's release, and if he can actually release and get open, then they may well have found one here. They might have actually found a viable receiver, and maybe it was the Hawkeyes' offense and the terrible, no disrespect to Gronkowski, but the terrible quarterback play they've had there in Iowa. Maybe they found one. That's something to get excited. The burst, the vision, that was all on show on the returns. 20.3 yards on average on those returns, 3 returns for 61 yards. You see how he fielded the first punt, running at pace horizontally to meet the ball perfectly in its arc. It's just this isn't a guy that's wanting to play receiver and just happens to be out there on returns. This is a guy that knows how to return the ball. He is a weapon. Awesome punting return experience. Kickoff return second half, slipped a tackle, stiff-armed another fall to the ground. It's going to be hella fun to watch. I'm all about Wheatgen. What a great pick. I think quite a few people were surprised when that pick was made early, but I think in this game, the difference he's made, we can see why they made the pick, no?
And just to highlight a play he didn't make as well, the awareness to let the ball go into the end zone for a touchback and good starting field position. Like, that's not, you think in preseason, this guy is trying to earn a roster spot. He's going to try and catch the ball and run with it for 20 yards as best as he can and show his ability. But actually to be aware of where the ball was on the field and let it go into the end zone and be like, no, that one's fine. That'll be a touchback. To have that ability and that football IQ is fantastic. How is Wheatgen stiff-arming a guy, by the way? Did you see that?
Yeah, that's
like one of the returns, he stiff-armed the guy. I'm like, how is Wheatgen doing that? Unbelievable.
Lad's got that Iowa muscle into him.
Indeed, yeah. That corn put to good use. But I just think like in the open field, Gav, as you say, he just looked like a jitterbug. He's just got that ability to slip a tackle and use that speed that he's got. So yeah, I'm sure, there'll be a game at some point this season, and you can bookmark this. A defense we're playing against will be tired and will have done well against the McCarthy offense, but I think he'll throw Wheatgen out there and he'll just run away from somebody and score a touchdown. So
yeah, great change of pace to have in that receiver room, certainly.
Yeah.
Similar kind of special teams first, offense second cat with Scrobro, right? Who was 2 of 2 with 36. And I thought his release was good on his 19-yard third down completion that got that first long drive going. And it made me think, it made me ask myself, or now I'm asking you, can McCarthy unlock him a bit more of a weapon like he was at the Rams rather than Arthur Smith, who didn't really know how to use his starting wide receivers, let alone his special teams guy on the third and fourth wide receivers? So are we a bit more hopeful that Scrobo can be more of a contributor on offense this season?
I think he will do okay this year. I think in the fullness of time, we might look to replace him next year.
Oh, sacrilege.
No, I don't think it is, because I think you've got, if Roman Wilson works out and Bernard works out, you just need like one more kind of main receiver, and then you have like Wheatgen and the others, like the gadget guys that can do the special teams and this, that, and the other. I think Scobro, if he's going to make his position in his team holistically in the long term, he's got to be a core special teamer. But I don't know, I'm always looking for that extra little bit of something on offense as well. So
the extra little bit of something is when he goes down,
does unlock him.
Goes down and beats the hell out of a dude on special teams. That's where it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. When he's a gunner and just absolutely destroys. Yeah, yeah.
I want him on the team for as long as he's willing to play football. I want Skoranek on the team.
But just, don't do that unnecessary roughness penalty. I know it was a bit harsh on him, perhaps, but
they're just letting the refs practice throwing those flags. That's what that is.
Yeah, I hope so. But don't do that in the season. That's my only request. Thank you.
All right. Any other thoughts on Scrobo before we move on? I mean, I haven't really got much about Smith or Hurleyman Or Wentz.
No,
Did you
there
say we
wasn't.
didn't see your guy, did we, Gav?
No.
The Rivers of Blood.
No, didn't really see
Hurleyman, great turn in yards after the catch on that one that he got in
He
third
did-
or fourth
he did all
quarter,
right,
something like that. It did all right on the one he had, but yeah. Levi Wentz, never heard of him before, but yeah, nice.
Well, I think Gav was about to rave about it.
Well, I was going to say, nice
Cut
possession catch. That's it. First down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Against the people movers. Yeah, Cornell Powell didn't feature. I'm hoping that. Well, he was a late addition, wasn't he? After they cut Dowell, they signed Dowell, they cut Dowell, they signed Powell. Hopefully, they're going to play Powell and not cut Powell. But yeah, so
So there's a lot of Powells and Dowells going on
I know
there.
it's just ridiculous.
Powell, Dowell, terrible towel. There we
Right.
go. Get that on a t-shirt.
Before we move on from wide receiver, Jason's put, can't believe Claypool isn't on the graphic. Now these new graphics that we've got here, these Mount Rushmore graphics, I did want to sort of mention that when someone commented on it, there was 2 receivers that I couldn't include. Claypool wasn't one of them. I don't know how you feel. Obviously, on the right there, I'm assuming everyone knows who's on the left. On the right there, we've got Swan and Stallworth. So Louis Lips was left off, and obviously Santonio Holmes was the other one. Did I make the right choice there?
I suppose there's going to be AB people who probably would say otherwise, but I think they're probably the 4 you would go for if you're not.
Yeah, I think
Not
Lips
the
is maybe
AB.
the 5th that could be pushing.
Yeah.
I couldn't really speak to that, obviously, but obviously AB needed to be on there, and I think you've made the right decision in the modern era.
Yeah, contentious. I just think that AB in his heyday, it ended nasty, but just what a dominant player he was. So he's on the Rushmore there.
This isn't about what happened in that Dubai swimming pool
No.
or any of the other various places where
Jesus,
questionable
now I
things
cannot
occurred.
remove that image. Why
That
did
is,
he go
that is
there?
a proud AB. That is a proud AB in that image. That is an AB we trust and we like.
I couldn't get
Hey, you
over
need-
that.
You need length with your wide receivers.
You do need. Nice. Sorry.
Hand
stepped all over
speed also a factor.
that. Antonio Brown. What was it? I was listening to something the other day. I think it might have been our podcast actually, and Chloe was behind me, and they were talking about does AB have a Hall of Fame case? Should he be in the Hall of Fame? And they were talking about this, and first they were talking about Ben first, and then obviously they mentioned, but maybe he's not going to get in first ballot because of the whole situation with Ben. And I was like, oh, that's great. That sounds excellent, doesn't it? And then the Antonio Brown thing came up, and it was like, well, he does have an active. He is on trial for murder. Like he does have a murder case coming up. And I was like, wow, this is great. All of our might be Hall of Famers, like, well, he does have an active murder case upcoming.
Didn't stop Ray
Shannon
Lewis.
Sharp.
Didn't stop Ray
Shannon Sharp-
Lewis.
you know,
Didn't stop Ray
didn't-
Lewis. I'm going to keep saying it.
Didn't Shannon Sharp have a literally have
Allegedly.
an issue as he was getting put into the Hall of Fame? But
It's complete. Well, at least the Hall of Fame kind of felt feel good this year, at least outside of Adam Vinatieri's Bill Belichick dig.
Right.
I'm failing that prison league first ballot.
He'd be great in there. What's the
Straight onto
Meme
Meme
machine.
Machine.
Yeah, meme
longest
machine.
yard or
longest
Meme
yard?
machine. Yeah.
Right, let's move to tight end.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what. Speaking of guys who are going to make the roster with Lou Nichols, Robert Tonyan's making this roster, and the sooner you accept it, the sooner you.
I'm perfectly happy
Yes.
with that. I thought he had a great game. Just terrific receptions across the middle of the field.
Holy
my
hell.
God.
There's a place between the hashes, and it's known as the middle of the field.
There is life between the hashes, and we don't just have to defend it where we don't defend it, and we kind of still didn't. But wow, yeah, couldn't believe it. But Robert Tonyan, really solid game, really, really nice stuff. Particularly with Will Howard.
Did he play himself onto 53 discussion here? 4 of 4 with 61 yards, long of 22. I thought he showed some nice soft hands.
I really think he has, and who knows if it's even really the I'm sure it doesn't hurt the play in the game, but I think he sounds like he's made himself integral in camp as well, and he's just. It doesn't surprise me, I guess, that an old hand like Robert Tonyan is going to fit in with Aaron Rodgers in his final season, and just kind of be his guy,
Just the ability to find space in the zone. Like you've got that or you've not. And he has so clearly got that. And I know scheme probably played into it to a certain extent, but just the experience, run a little bit, find yourself in space, stop. Just stand there and wait for the ball. And that's what he did. And that's the, explosive 15, 20 yards that we've been missing for the last however long I've been watching the Steelers, because we can now throw over the middle. So, yeah, long may that continue.
3
and
plays.
If Muth and Matt Washington can do that as well, then happy days.
And a certain other tight end. 3 plays back-to-back second quarter. But so wide open for that first catch. Nobody within 10 yards.
Yeah.
But it did remind me of what other teams usually do to the Steelers. But
yes.
I'm not.
It's nice to do it.
Let's do it to someone else. Not sure he will ever be that open again in any situation, in anything, in any endeavor ever again in his life.
I don't know. We got the Falcons week 1. He might be.
Right.
But yeah. No, I think he's certainly a spot as tight end 3 on this team. I mean, yeah, that's probably the room that. Yeah. No, I think that room.
Well,
might
we
be
said,
set
didn't we,
now.
like kind of by surprise, even though that was always because obviously we had Jonnu Smith and we expected that he was going to be a bigger part of the team, and it totally flopped. So we said a couple of weeks ago, I think, when we first initially started talking about what the 53 would look like, that there was kind of a bit of an open space there in the tight end room. We wondered, who might fill it, and I think Robert Tonyan's the answer. And it's weird. It's going to be a weird situation, that tight end room in the season, right? Because I don't think Robert Tonyan's going to look like a traditional tight end 3, is he? He's going to be a lot more involved in the offense, I would imagine, than a traditional tight end 3.
Yeah, but your tight end 2 looks like an absolute mountain of a man that can do any kind of blocking. Yeah.
And your tight end 1 doesn't exist, according to Gav, so maybe Robert Tonyan is our tight end 1.
Wait, no, I'm always the one saying that we need a tight end 1.
No, I know, but I'm saying you don't like Pat Fryermuth.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, that's true. I misunderstood.
Your tight end 2 would do more of a job at the solar eclipse than the solar eclipse did. So
yeah, what was that about, that solar eclipse? Let's not get into it.
Let's not get into it.
Moon wobble.
Just before we move on to my favourite player, nice pace on the screen. The very next play after that wide open play, 16 yards. But what I liked more than what Tonyan did was how the screen was disguised. Did you see that? The 2 lineman blockers and Tonyan hid the plan so well. Like you had no idea that was going to be a screenplay. It wasn't a Matt Canada screen where it's like, oh look, the Steelers are running a screen before they even snap the ball. It was like it just looked like a normal play, and then suddenly, oh shit, it's a screen, and then Tonyan was off. It was awesome. So it's just another level of sophistication. It's like they were so well coached into oh yeah, hold your blocks, wait. It's like Zulu, hold. Okay, now go. And it was good. It was good. It was nice.
More terrific wrinkles, yes.
And this is the vanilla stuff he's putting on preseason tape. Yeah. This isn't the actual. Now we're going to do clever stuff week 1, like proper NFL season. So yeah, love to see it.
All right, it's here. Nowakowski time. Did you notice that?
Well done.
Did you notice that the game started and ended with Nowakowski being vital?
Mm-hmm.
What did I tell you? 25 most important Steelers.
The whole time I was thinking, wow, pivot point. He's the pivot. He's going to be the pivot point. He really is. Gav was right.
He is. Yeah. I'm telling you.
It kind of felt like it though. Like even in the way that you described it. Like
even when he dropped one. But
yeah. But just like his utility,
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to look good on the back of that jersey when I'm. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Ketts, go on.
Yeah, key in the red zone, isn't he? Nowakowski for Nichols, running it in on the goal line early on, and then, like you say, finishing with the Nowakowski catch as well. So he's been vital twice, in the end zone, which is where it matters. So yeah.
What did you think of the drop, Gav?
Well, obviously, it's not. No player is going to be perfect. I think the pass wasn't absolutely perfect, but yeah, I'd like to have seen him brought that in. The questions about can he be a receiver? I think he proved that with the touchdown. I'm prepared to move on, but I think his utility is what I said previously. He enables the Steelers to stay in 12 personnel and just do hurry up and not let the defense switch, but they can do different things. He can play fullback, he can play tight end, he can play receiver, he can let you do some stuff. So I think that's why he is going to be good.
I like that point about the hurry up. That's interesting. Yeah.
All right, let's move to the O-line, I think. Unless anyone else got any other tight ends. Jaheim Bell played in this game. Let's move on.
Late McCree brought in a reception.
Oh, can I just say?
Tight end?
Sorry, can I just say? I should have just brought this up earlier because we've gone through all of them now. Robert Tonyan had the highest PFF offensive grade of the week.
Well, he did dominate, didn't he? I mean,
well, there you go, 93.5. Usually, I throw that out to you to guess. We'll do it in the regular season, but for this week, for the preseason, Robert Tonyan, number 1. Kane Wedge number 2. Mason
A
Rudolph
preseason number 1, top of the PFF grades. It's like beating 12-year-olds at whatever.
Mason Rudolph number 3.
I should probably put something at the end of that sentence rather than just
Howard number 4.
12-year-olds, but there you go. Yeah.
Those grades mean nothing to me.
Rudolph 3, Will Howard 4, Ben Skowronek 5. There you go.
Yeah.
That's your top 5.
Tell you who wasn't going to be at the top 5, the O-line. Oh dear.
Yeah, not the best outing for the first. I think it's difficult for all lines, right? Because they're chopping and changing more than they would in a normal game. They're in and out. Broderick Jones played the most snaps out of anyone on the team in this game. 72% of the snaps.
That was mad.
He was out there with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. He was still out there after the team bus left. He was still there going on. Still Broderick Jones.
And Doug Nestor and Jack Driscoll were 2nd and 3rd as well. So there was clearly some guys they wanted to see a lot out of. I wonder if that says anything. I wonder if that means maybe there's some, competition there for a final 10th roster spot maybe on the O-line, maybe with Broderick Jones. It's can we advertise this guy maybe to the league a little bit?
Well, how confident are we after that showing from Cook?
Yeah, this is my thing. I think Brojo's probably played his way back in a little bit here. He's looked good in camp. He looks svelte. He looks like the best shape he's been in, I think, since he's been on the Steelers. If this injury isn't too bad, maybe I'm just buying into a little bit. Maybe this is where my preseason hype is lying. Is it a bit too much on Brojo? But yeah, with how bad Dylan Cook looked, he's really got to step up. I think there's a chance here for Brojo potentially to sneak back into our hearts.
It's weird. Like the right-hand side of this offensive line worries me. Like Iheanacho has missed a lot of time in camp. Has he properly got back into it yet? I don't think so. Cook looked like he'd never played the game for a while. Jones has played well, but I want to see him get his kind of strength back. Dunker as well kind of needs a bit more time because he's missed time in camp as well. And then I just look at the rest of the depth and it's just like, I'm just not really sure. And if, Faltanu's moved over from right to left, I don't know. I've just got questions about this line still. And I thought that it would be fairly kind of set once you got into it. But I don't know. I don't know if Dylan Cook's the answer.
No.
From the kind of second tier of the line, just to kind of consolidate it and move on with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what about the second tier. Faltanu's had a lot of false start penalties and holding penalties in camp, apparently, and they've carried over. That's not a good sign.
No, that's worrying.
Yeah. I think that the interior will be more solid, but then you look at the graphic we got up. I couldn't even find a tackle to put into the Mount Rushmore. 3 centres. I had to leave one of the centres out because I didn't want 3 centres on Mount Rushmore. So maybe it doesn't matter too much. The Steelers have had success without great tackles. Perhaps the McCarthy offense will negate the need. This isn't the old classic, just the line needs to do all the work to make any offense. Maybe this is just the line can just be good and that's enough.
Don't be saying things like negate the need for a good offensive line when we've had Troy Fautanu, Broderick Jones, and Maxi Iheanacho all as first-round picks in the last 5 years, please. As someone that covers drafts on this podcast, Jesus Christ, that's worrying.
Yeah. What did you make?
This is lots of work.
Do you know the best pass block grade of this game?
Cool.
Well, Mr. Doug Nestor, who we dismissed.
Did we? Hang on a second.
Well,
Hold up a second. Cy and Ketts had him making O-line 10.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say, you asked us if there was a 10th O lineman to make the team.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we identified the correct one.
Well, the other people here selected Ryan McCullum, which is also a decent shout because he looked all right.
Yeah.
Nice pull block to get Nichols for that 7. Get 7 on an inside run, third quarter. Interesting, they had McCollum at right guard and Hoffman at centre, I thought.
That was interesting, yeah.
Second quarter. I thought Hoffman, I wasn't sure about him in the zone game. I thought he looked a little bit heavy-footed, a little bit suspect. And I think if McCarthy's going to want to run some zone... Was Hoffman a McCarthy guy? Is that why he's here?
Yeah, he was at Dallas, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So maybe that was just a bad play where it looked like his feet were in treacle.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he only gave up one pressure. I suppose there wasn't much, it was a lot spread around, but no, I'm not gonna, again, one preseason game, not gonna try and be too down on him.
No, sure.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, at times I didn't think, was Spencer Anderson like terrific in this one? Probably not, but
wasn't terrible.
Yeah, no, not terrible, no, but I just think the line as a whole. Yeah, I'm hoping to see some improvements against the Jets because I think there were some issues. But I think that, the key guy on this whole thing is Troy Fautanu because it was a really rough game for him.
Better days ahead, hopefully.
Hopefully so. God, you hope so. Moving back to left tackle after spending so much time at right. I know he did a lot of that at Washington, but yeah, it might take a little bit of time, but hopefully he actually does get back into that because if we need more O-line help come next draft, I'm going to tear my hair out. I really am. I mean, most of it's gone already now, but still.
Yeah, I'm at a similar age mark where the hair is disappearing fast.
Well, mine was cut off. I'm not saying, mine was voluntarily.
This is true. Mine's not.
Uh-oh. Well, you're married now, so it's fine. Doesn't matter.
You can bold at your own request.
At your own pace. Just the last little thing. Dunker didn't make a massive impact, but I thought the get off looked good. I thought he looked fast out of his stance, which was good.
Second highest run block grade in the pass block grade. Sorry, in this thing.
I was like watching the Tommy Jaggy kind of breakdowns of the line play on Twitter, and it shows kind of every Dunker offensive snap versus the Packers. And actually, I didn't necessarily notice it in the game, but when you watch like back and he's got everything from the kind of the all-22 view, you can definitely see he's active. He's looking for work. He's definitely making some impact on the play. I think the first step is good. And you can see him actually physically dominating against at least some of the guys he's up against. So I know they're going to be, second, third, fourth teamers, etc. But yeah, it's a positive start, I think, when you look at his individual kind of work, and definitely think he's going to continue to learn. But it's better than what I think you'd have expected from his first game at guard, especially given that he stayed out there for quite a while and played a lot of the snaps.
Yeah, I hope, because McCarthy's saying he wants to kind of lean on a lot of the younger players. I hope we see a lot more of him on Saturday, hopefully early on as well. Be nice to see what he can do there, because he wasn't in this game until second half, late third quarter. I think he didn't get onto the field until. So excited for him. Still very hyped up about this pick, and hopefully he can. You want him to be one of those guys that you don't find yourself talking about a lot. I think that's what you find with offensive line, and that it's just like the less we talk about you, the more you're probably doing your job right. So
right, yeah. Move to defense, or do you want to do? Have you got your game side or something?
No. What do you sort my game? What do you mean, sir?
No. You already did the PFF grades.
The PFF.
Well, would you? We were going to move to defense. So, would you like, as an introduction to that, would you like to guess who had the highest PFF grade in preseason week 1 on defense?
Oh, there you go. So you do have.
I think this is a consensus answer.
A consensus answer, you say?
Is it not?
I don't know.
There's some contenders. There's some contenders. I thought Samuel had a hell of a game. I thought Everett had a hell of a game. I thought
Jamin Davis had
I thought
really
Jamin Davis. He was my next guy. I thought Jamin, and then obviously Rubio had a hell of a game. So
Gabriel Rubio had a brilliant game. Yeah,
that would be my 4.
Mine would be Rubio, and I don't think it's close.
Oh,
Rubio was
Rubio
fantastic.
sweep says
yeah, but I do think Jamin Davis.
Rubio play?
Yeah,
he had 7 run stops at the line of scrimmage and 10 run defense snaps overall, I think.
That's pretty crazy.
But Jamin Davis I thought played really well as well, so he could be.
Yeah, Jamin Davis did play well.
I'm going to go Jamin Davis.
Any advance on Jamin Davis? Pause there.
I gave you my Everett and my
okay.
Everett, and who else did I say there? I said
Samuel.
Asante Samuel had
Asante Samuel,
against the ones he really showed out. He was awesome.
Asante Samuel's the answer. Asante Samuel is number one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. 90.6 rating. Malik Harrison is number 2 on this list.
No way.
Oh, no.
Really? Oh, Jesus.
What?
Really? How? Okay.
Rubio's not on it. Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh.
Rubio's not on it.
BFF's gone off the deep end again.
Did these mothers even watch this game? Seriously?
Have you got the snap count on? Or is you,
it's not the same layout. Bear with me one second.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? Yeah.
Do we have the... I'm looking for Rubio's snap count and I can't...
I
did
number 16.
write down
I've just seen him
Malik Harrison, nice open field tackle on special teams return. That's the only thing I wrote down about.
Gabriel Rubio, 16 I've got on here as defensive player.
Before we get into, you can look up those stats side. Before we get into the defensive line, I just wanted to say the thing that got me excited was the scripted play calling on the first drive by Patrick Graham. So they got the new set of downs. The first drive. So the Green Bay get a new set of downs. Graham casually calls up a 5-3 formation to stop the run that he knew was coming, and it did come, daring the Packers to throw first down going forward. Love that aggression. Just like, let's pack the box. 8 in the box. What are you going to do? Huh? Where are you going to go? Huh? Jenkins, 8th man in the box, makes the tackle after getting off the block, holds the run to 2 yards. 2nd and 8 it is. What does Patrick Graham do? Dials up a blitz. That seems to work. Third and 5, right? So it's not third and short, but it's not third and long. It's in the middle. He goes cover 2 with a nickel rush on the screen, right, for a tackle for loss by Danico Slaughter. Nothing there. And that led to the first field goal. What a fantastic series of play calling. And for fans that have been in the desert with Terrell Austin just doing who knows what, I just thought, there's some hope here. There's something.
It's very exciting. You see all the different little things he did. There was the simulated blitz. There was a 3rd and 10. Tyrod Taylor out there. Sim from Graham tricks him into the quick screen, and then Steelers, run him down to force the punt on there. So that's fantastic to see as well. It just looked like more of a professional football defense, didn't it? Still areas where that kind of middle of the field was still a little bit exposed here and there. I don't know if I should be too worried about that. I'm not sure, but there was a lot of encouraging signs for Patrick Graham. 3 field goals they got in the end. No end zone play for them. Jordan Love started this game and kind of kept him at bay a little bit. So I'm really, really encouraged by it, and I'm very excited to see. We left a lot of start. Well, we left TJ and Cam didn't play in this. I don't think most guys did. Highsmith have many snaps? I don't think he had a huge amount.
A couple off the edge to start with, but not many. I wrote down like delayed blitz on early 2nd down tape. Will we see more of this? I think the defense was like swarming at times, and love to see that. Good pressure on the quarterback. Obviously, we mentioned Jamin Davis and how well he played good pressure and sack late in the game. We've just got professionals around the team, like extra sacks and garbage time at the end of the game. Patrick Graham was clearly still working, as were the players that he has around him. And I'm just so encouraged by a lot of what I saw. You mentioned kind of Highsmith, like good early tackle, set the edge well to start with. Nick Herbig was being held kind of around his neck at one point with 7 minutes left in the first quarter, and still carried on good speed and bend to get round. I just like so many different areas, but I'm sure we'll go on to talk about it when we go through the position groups. I don't want to spoil it too much.
All right, okay. Let's jump in.
Yeah,
where do you want to start?
Well, most of my notes are in the D-line revolve around Rubio and Lowry, right? So does anyone else want to lead off with someone that wasn't like a 3rd or 4th string?
No, I want you to take your victory lap on Rubio, because I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
He's the story out of this game, really, to be honest.
Talk of the town, man. And we get to plug Gav being on it already.
Yeah.
Well, I might
Well,
make
I will say, before Gav takes his victory lap, last week Gav said, well, who else should we talk about? Who else are we excited to see? And I did go, I'm excited to see Gabriel Rubio. So, maybe it should be my victory lap. Anyway, Gav.
jump onto my cart behind my horse when I'm riding it. Amazing. 1 tackle, 5 assists, awesome strength. That wasn't really the story. It wasn't about the tackles. It was the stack and shed ability, the extension, the anchor, the 2-gapping, the peeker hole, shed a tackle. Pretty much on the first play that he was in there. I'm not sure that many players enter the league with that skill locked and loaded, ready to go. Just that, I'm going to get hands on a dude. Who was the guy that came out of Clemson that was going to be this guy? Brian Breezy, was it? Yeah. What's happened to him? This Rubio's
perennially injured Brian Breezy.
Rubio's just come in, just he's just moving mofos around. Held up against double teams pretty well. Played just that wide base, that strength, that warrior frame. Another nice burst play where he blew up the blocker in front of him to shed, then to tackle in the fourth quarter. That's why everyone's gone nuts. He just looks like a Steeler. That was the point I was making. He looked like a Steeler when I saw him in the draft. I was like, I want this guy on the team. I can see this working. Let's hope it works. Let's hope they moves up the lines a little bit and gets some reps against some good opposition, and that he is an absolute lock. But how's that for a victory?
That tackle was fantastic as well. The one we talk about. Y.A. Black's a big part of that as well. The way he just shoves off the center, really disrupts the play, and then Rubio fights off that double team to make the big tackle. Just fantastic work. The depth of this D line now looks menacing. It's fantastic to see. And you really hope it does hold up as we go into the regular season as well. But you couldn't have really asked for much more out of Gabriel Rubio. Maybe he won't offer that much in pass rush, but as a run defender, holy hell, geez, you could see him and Harmon absolutely dominating in obvious running situations.
I see no reason why he can't develop a bull rush with that strength, with that length he's got. That frame.
He could.
Yeah, I think, right, we might not see, penetration plays. We might not see him splitting gaps and things, but we might see him very easily, very soon, getting a hand on dudes, because his hand placement's good, his strike power's good. So, and he's got the powerful anchor. Surely he can convert that into a bull rush, like how Cam did, and, just compress that pocket and just make things difficult for the quarterback. Maybe not get home, but make things difficult and let other people get home. That's how he can affect the pass.
There's a guy that I've watched for the college stuff that's upcoming called David Stone out of Oklahoma, and so much of what I see in his game I can see in Rubio's game as well.
Really
you say, stack and shed, the ability, the length, the ability to kind of, you engage with a guy, but then you get your hands in and really shove that mother out the way, and that's what he does, and the ability to do that, then quickly get off the block and then actually make the tackle on the running back, and all of that stuff. And bearing in mind, this guy's a projected kind of first rounder. We've got a guy that seems to be able to do that in the 6th round that nobody other than Gav had ever really heard of before the draft happened. So, it's exciting. And obviously it's preseason. So again, you're tempering expectations, but holy hell, if he works out, and like you say, you've got Harmon, Black, you've got Cam for a couple of years, and then you've got Benton, Rubio, and then, another kind of guy, whether it's Sebastian Joseph Day or whoever, just to round out that front 6, man, that's scary.
Well, it's another position in a similar way to the way we've been talking about the secondary, that it feels like for the first time in a long time, we've got a bit of depth, right? It actually feels like it's not just, oh my God, if Cam or if someone on one of the ends goes down, we're just completely goosed and we've got to start this absolute also-ran.
Yeah, we're not relying on the DeMarvin Leals and the Isaiah Loudermilks.
Well,
of the world.
hang on. 'Cause he is in the Loudermilk slot, right? Which is second.
Yeah, but he's just not Loudermilk.
Yeah, all right, but let's calm down a little bit. He's come in
gravy to Loudermilk.
Yes,
He's like
we know
the Jew compared to Bisto.
one preseason.
No, we've
Yeah.
crowned Aller as a franchise quarterback, and we've crowned Rubio as the next Aaron Donald. It's done.
Second half in the preseason game against Nightclub Bouncers. Let's hold on a little second.
You tried moving a nightclub bouncer?
Loudermilk gave you, 4 or 5 years of decent D-end against the run in 3-4. Come in, solid job. That's what we should be looking for Rubio. Not that he's going to come in and be a star player. I think that's getting a little bit over our skis.
To tell you what, though, when Rubio dropped back into pass coverage, oh man, that was good. Like, he got his arms right up there in the passing lane when he dropped back into coverage. Like, can Loudermilk do that? I don't know. Just kidding. But yeah, like, I feel like the way that Patrick Graham is using this D-line is interesting, because there was times when we were rushing 3, and I think he seemed to rush 3 quite a lot, because I think in season he'll probably rush 4. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see, like, these guys that are up front aren't necessarily all going to bull rush or rush the passer. I feel like some of them are going to drop back, and he's going to do weird and wonderful schematic things as well. So keep an eye on that as well as the season goes on.
It's just that. For me, if a guy can stack and shed like that, then you want him on the team, because that's how you create 100%. Carnage up front, right? You get your hands on a dude and he owns him, and he's moving him around, using him as a human shield to block lanes until he decides that he wants to waste him and then tackle the ball carrier. Man, that's one of the things I love in football more than anything else, seeing that. And he was doing it in his first damn game, and it's like, oh man, how this is awesome. Why did no one else see him in the draft? Why?
It's because he was injured all the time.
Yeah,
didn't take that many snaps.
Yeah, he didn't play that much, and he was kind of miscast, and then playing in a 4-3 front. Yeah, but there was enough there to see that there was the potential. This is what you've got to do in the draft, right? It's like, okay, he's miscast at Notre Dame. Like, the few plays he made, he had the potential. Anyway, he's up against probably Dean Lowry for that 6th spot, I thought. He's the only guy.
Okay, well,
go on.
We can draw a line under that to start with. Job done. Move on.
I thought Larry had, he's a veteran, nice extension block after that unnecessary roughness pen that gave the first down. He bounced back, stopped Lloyd bouncing it out, made him run into the pack. But yeah, he couldn't get off a block later. You don't see the stack and shed. I just don't think he affects the game enough to make the team. And then
practice squad, straight on the practice squad. Happy to have you there. Job done. Move on.
Yeah, I agree. And that was it. I got good low, nice pressure. Anyone else you want to talk about? Kyler Bowe's excited to make plays. Bow, is it Boff? How you say his name?
Boff.
He's a big dude.
Or, I think, yeah, Kyler.
Kind of interesting shape dude, not someone that I've seen. Can you think of another guy that looks like him?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that now. Interesting shape dude.
Just a weird frame, like kind of short and stocky, powerful. I don't know. I'm not writing him off because of it, and obviously had a couple of good plays back to back. But I don't know, this group that didn't feel like there was much to write home about. Otumwebo, did he do?
Yeah, we didn't see much of Otumwebo at all, really. I think he had one tackle in there and 1 assist, but that's about it. Didn't see much from Jobbity June. He had a hurry on one, but yeah.
That's fine, because like, it's not a bad thing to have this front 6 set. They're set, put them in the 53, move on and worry about.
No, but it would be nice to have somebody in the practice squad we know that could at least
someone we're gunning for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
didn't feel like if it's like Dean Lowry's it, and that's pretty kind of depressing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I equally can't hate the fact we've got a front 3 and then a second front 3 behind them that are competent and good and have upside, and we're excited about.
No, this is great. It's a strong group, and it should be a highly paid group. Like, they should be good.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I feel like the trenches, and that's clearly what we've concentrated on. The D line is so much. I've got more confidence in that than I have the O line at the minute.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
you
100%.
should. You absolutely should. Right, should we move on to edge? Okay.
Yeah.
What you were saying?
That's good. No. I'm happy to move on. That was the point I was trying to make. Like, I'm happy with these guys. It's good. Job done. Yeah.
Job done. You made it. Right. Okay. Is this all about Jamin Davis, or has anyone else got anything else to say?
I don't think there's much else in the way of it. I mean, Jamin Davis, what a game! Like, it really, really shone out. But
who saw this coming?
You.
I mean, again, you got to
factor in. I didn't see this one coming.
No,
I'm not.
No, you got to factor in who is up against. Yeah. Just.
I thought this show was just a vehicle for you to get your takes off and then tell us how correct those takes were.
You know, you said some nice things about me on Twitter, and that you now kind of like making up for that with firing shots.
I didn't even think you'd seen that.
You'd straw man in me now.
I'm bigging you up just to shoot you back down.
Yeah.
Jack Sawyer, I thought Jack Sawyer looked pretty decent out there in his little stick.
Yes, he did.
Good to see. He did. Yeah, he got you get a sack or half a sack. Yeah, decent from him as well. But yeah, Jamin Davis is the headline really on that front.
Does he have any bend?
What, Jack Sawyer?
No, Jamin Davis.
Oh.
Has he changed? Has his body shape changed since I last saw him playing for the Commanders or the Redskins or the football team or whatever it was that he was drafted by? He seemed to have put some weight on, right? He's been eating whatever it is, that meal they eat, the
NFL porridge.
No, yeah, the NFL, the mince with the spaghetti with the eggs, right? They're just a mass gainer with loads of protein. He's been on that diet because he looks bigger, but he's still athletic. And that's interesting. And I think that's why he stood out, is that how athletic he was with power. But you saw him rushing the arc, and he is straight as a board, man. Like, there's zero bend. And that's, I think it was a great performance. I think he could be a sink edge, like how Highsmith without any pass rush. I think that's what you could be looking at. I think you could see some upside. I think he could be a genuine off-ball outside linebacker. And that's interesting. And I'm interested to see if Patrick Graham might actually use him, but I think he's potentially a role player on this team rather than a potential starter. But you like the athleticism. Maybe there's some business on special teams for him, and he could defend. You know, on passing downs, he can sink and cover the pass. So I was pleasantly surprised, though. Do you guys agree? I mean, he was a tackle leader on the game, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss for 21.5 yards. Did he play his way into the bubble conversation?
Well, I think he played his way into the bubble conversation. Go on, Ketts.
Yeah, I was saying it was a good wrap-up tackle, good pressure and good sack late in the game. Again, he's just like, I don't want him to be a starter, but he's a decent guy to have in and around the team. He's a good guy that in an emergency, you throw him out there. And yes, you're not going to get TJ Watt levels of production. You're not going to get Highsmith levels of production. But if you have an injury crisis in that room, then he's not a bad guy to have around. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. For me, what he did was he separated himself from the kind of, the youthful guys, the guys that are always on the back end of the roster at this time of year trying to prove themselves at edge, which is a very difficult position to. It's a little. We don't really talk about it like this, but it's a little bit like quarterback, right? We talk about quarterback where there's only 32 of those positions in the world to be a starting NFL quarterback. Really, how many teams actually have 2 productive, like, getting after the quarterback edges? Not many. And so there's probably less than, like,
Steelers have 3.
Well, sure, right? But there's probably less than, like, would you say, like, 50, like, real, like, edge, like, get after the quarterback edge players. And so I think what he did was he showed that he's got a little bit more juice as a kind of a veteran guy, a guy who's got a bit of pedigree than some of these. And so I think whenever you've got a guy like that, same goes for Tonyan, right? On the other side of the ball, when you've got a guy like that with a little bit about him, you kind of got to ask yourself, can we extract this maybe? And is there value to this guy sticking around on the 53, on the roster through the season? And maybe if we need to, like Ket says, we can dip into that talent as we need it, rather than, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith goes down and you're back on the street again at a position where there's absolutely no talent. You sign in, John Fucksticks to get you absolutely 0 pressures in the game. And, we've done it over and over again. So would it be the worst thing in the world?
Does John Fucksticks have a decent bend? In which case, maybe.
TCU alumni. But no, I totally agree with what Sai's saying. Like, 5-man room, TJ Watt, Highsmith, Nick Herbig, Jack Sawyer, Jamin Davis, job done, move on.
But
You don't need
then
to
you
think-
get to
think
but
about
then
it
you
more
get
than
to the- you get to the thing there, don't you? And this is what we're going to do next week, right? When we do the 53-man roster predictions. But we're already doing this. We'll be like, well, we're going to keep 4 quarterbacks, and we're going to keep we'll keep the 5th edge.
It
and,
all
you
works
know.
for your 75-man roster prediction.
Right.
It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So he's put himself in the conversation, but I agree to make it as a 5th edge without any kind of extraneous circumstances is tough.
But it's a pleasant surprise. I thought he was good, just a failed experiment, like one of these things they do, like, oh, he's not working out a linebacker, let's try him at edge, doesn't work there, let's get him off the team. I think he's put something down here on tape.
But that's not a bad thing. Like, you've either got the ability for him to go to the practice squad, or maybe he's played a little bit too good that another team will look at him from the rest of the 31 teams and go, actually, yeah, this is a guy we need. But if you don't have him on the 53 and he drops to the practice squad, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like he can definitely make a play. He's not going to be a starter. You're not going to like sell the house for him, but
Yeah, you can wheel him in
if he
when
can pick up
Highsmith
either
inevitably gets injured.
Surely,
Exactly,
surely he's better fit as a Sam, right? Like the strong side linebacker on a 4-3, like just where he's not expected to rush the tackle. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
he's got that upside to be able to do that, though. Late in game in an emergency or something.
Anyone else? I was hoping for Winman to have a little bit of rub. Didn't really get anything going there.
No.
Welshoff had the tackle for loss and the QB hit.
He did?
It still looks quite powerful, but it's against the nightclub bouncers, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the problem, and it can't get in until you get into these really late game situations. But I guess that's the same for them, right? Going up against the guys they're going up against. So
yeah,
it's tough to address these things. I think with these guys that are coming in the second half of games, you've really got to separate. Like, this is the thing. This is what Jamin Davis did, is that you got to separate yourselves from the guys you're playing with. You've got to look like the best player on the field because, to make a difference in the actual NFL, you're going to have to be in the second half of a preseason game.
I want to give a shout out to BC7833-X9N. Dude, maybe come up with a better username, man.
Hang on. Maybe it's one of these names where it actually says something.
Oh, right. I need to squint at it and cross my eyes. Maybe need 3 more beers and then I'll be able to read it. But dude's saying he live in Boston or something. He's saying he's been giving Pat fans a hard time for decades when Pittsburgh is in town.
Well done.
That's nice, but I've got some. That's bringing PTSD, like all those playoff games losing against Tom Brady. When was that? When was the really bad one? Was that?
How many times has BC said had to deal with the Jesse James conversation?
All right, yeah. Was it 20? What was that? That stinker of a playoff game. Was that
2018 at this point?
Was it 17?
Too
18?
late, I don't know.
That was the last time the Steelers really had a chance, wasn't it? Was that the Killer Bees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that stunk.
Yes, he caught it, man. That was just after the Dez caught it situation as well, right?
What's more painful, that game or the Browns one, where it was Ben's last?
No, the Browns is still...
That was painful, but there was more hope. Like we knew they'd kind of squeaked into the playoffs, and it was like, it's like what we'd got used to with the end of Tomlin.
The Browns game is painful for what happened, whereas the other is painful for what didn't.
It felt like Brady had no business. That was a much more even game. That whatever year that was, but it's going out of the rearview mirror now, isn't it? But that was like the last playoff game where it was like, oh, they're on a run, they're in the playoffs. I still believe the Super Bowl in 2011 isn't that long ago. This is still they still got a chance, and the
offense was just so good. I mean, every year we were going in knowing it was the best offense in the league.
So that sucks for you, BC 78333. If you were there, man, would have been horrible. Anyway, should we move on to? Oh, go on.
Well, I was just going to very quickly say it is actually quite nice to debate someone like Jamin Davis, who has shown out in a game, and debate him as getting on this team as an edge 5, as opposed to someone like David Perales. Just to bring that name back into the void for everyone.
PTSD.
What happened
Where is
there?
David Perales?
I believe he's a nightclub bouncer.
A really tough one to move.
He's been knocked out a few times.
When I searched David Perales, I got musical artists. So
what was the beef there? I said he was crap. Simon said he was good.
Said he was crap. I said
Can we say certified crap now?
Well, hang on a minute. No, I mean, how many guys? He was an undrafted. What do you want from me?
We're back.
Football is back.
Wow. Apparently, it was 2016, the AFC Championship game with Jesse James.
Yeah, 16.
Hey, who knows? You could probably
Wow.
just sue the NCAA now and just go back and play in college. Who knows?
Wow, David Perales looks like a big Mexican artist. Gav, maybe you can pull this up on the stream or something, but David Perales, he's playing harp. He's got many albums.
It's
Looks
not
like
the same.
I'm
dude.
wondering. I
not
think
the
you've
same,
spelled
dude.
Paralysis wrong.
Yeah.
He's having one more year at
The
Clemson
The
next
only
year.
David Perales I'm getting is the Steelers player.
Perales.
Perales.
Oh, I did Parales. Well,
Perales.
David Perales is a popular.
It's a big deal.
Damn, was that the championship game in 2016? I've forgotten that.
Yeah.
Man. Ouch. That's
Oh,
what
David
hurts so
Perales
much.
has Twitter. Let's have a gander, because that's I think the only thing
There's
you're
a-
going to see.
there's a whole
Oh, he hasn't
world
tweeted since 2024. Okay.
And people wonders why the show goes off the road.
Yeah,
at
right.
12.
Let's
Yeah,
get
anyway,
back on
yeah.
track here. Back on
Let's
track. Right.
Let's recenter ourselves.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought linebackers, right? Queen and Wilson, I thought they looked prepared to defend the read option against the QB run. I thought that was a good sign for dealing with Lamar. On I think Love did a little handoff thing there, something, and they adjusted. I think Wilson did a signal. Queen busted out to the left. They covered the play. So nice to see that early doors. Anything else? Harrison. Why was Harrison getting such high PFF grade? 2 tackles. My notes here say nice strike power. I'd try and stash him on the practice squad. Maybe he will get a better offer. So be it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming from with Malik Harrison. I don't know what he did that was so outstanding.
Maybe he just didn't. One of those games where he just didn't do anything so horrible. I don't know. Bit odd that, but yeah, I'm not really seeing where it was either. But,
Cole Holcomb, I thought looked more fluid in coverage. Like the injuries rehab, that's gone. Got the nice coverage, pass break up to force that punt, second corner. Nice pace coming downhill, tracking the ball carrier for that -1 yard tackle for loss in the second quarter. So I think Holcomb's a stash, man. I think he's
he's kind of a weird one that we can't. Again, another guy we were ready to write off at the start of this preseason, thinking it was probably over for.
Well,
him,
we thought
and
it was
he's been
done, didn't we,
really
after the injury, and then maybe the movement wasn't quite there.
He had a missed tackle and a penalty in this as well, but on the whole, I think that's what's dinged him on PFF. But I think on the whole, he played well. I certainly think. I'd been thinking, if they felt he was, healthy enough, then he was going to be a lock for this team anyway.
Do the Steelers always carry 5 inside linebackers?
Comes and goes.
Yeah.
Or do they sometimes carry 4? Because I just wondered, with the Landon Roberts sign-in, you think they're going to keep Carson Bruner on the team?
Yeah, special
I think
teams.
they'll. But again, we'll say they hold 5, but if we hold 4
It's
quarterbacks,
a 75-man roster again.
Well, this is it. I'm just wondering, maybe is there a world where Jamin Davis stays, and maybe I'm just like playing out scenarios where maybe Carson Bruner becomes expendable. But
Well, who would you put above, Jamin Davis or Landon Roberts? Or who? Or is it Holcomb? Sorry, who? I'd have Holcomb above Davis. He's more a useful piece.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
I'm
if
just
Davis
wondering,
did another job in this weekend, then maybe it's more of a conversation. But
Yeah.
So
Right.
David
I'm wondering
Davis
if some-
lasted all of 5 minutes of being on the bubble, and now he's gone. That's what I mean.
Well,
It's just
this is what the bubble is. This is what he's in the bubble right now. It might pop. It might not. We don't know.
But that's the thing.
He's floating
Mhm.
away.
You can probably stash him on the practice squad.
Who?
I think that's
Who's
been
this?
Jamin Davis.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
I think
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
genuinely an option.
Yeah. BCC's come back saying, E-Rob, great signing. Yeah, man, we waxed lyrical at the top of the show. We're all massive fans of Roberts here. I mean, it's a great signing. All right, let's move on. I don't think there's much to say about the linebackers. It's a good
not really.
group. I guess Harrison's the story here. Is he going to make it? Is he not? Probably not. All right. Corner.
Asante Samuel Jr.
He looks
Step
like
on
a
forward.
god, doesn't he, man? I keep saying it. I feel like I know he got injured, and I know he had the spinal issue. In my mind, and sometimes, with defense more than offense, because obviously we don't have as much fantasy impact with defense and stuff. Sometimes, the way I think of a player that doesn't play for the Steelers on defense can sometimes be a little bit out of date, right? Like, I could still think someone's really great, and actually maybe he's had a season or a season and a half that's been a little bit downplay, right? And I've maybe not noticed because I'm not as hooked into that team secondary. But to me, when Asante Samuel got injured, he was still like a high-end corner, like a first-round caliber kind of guy, like a guy with a lot of pedigree. And then he took the big injury. Obviously, you're not expecting. And so when he came back and he was suddenly performing really well, I was like, well, hold on a minute. We've kind of got a freebie here. And then when we came into this offseason, it was almost like the hype had kind of re-died back down again. And everyone was acting like it was a big surprise that he was playing well. To me, I was kind of like, this guy's like going to be huge for us if he can stay healthy. And so far, he's had no problems with health. Let's keep touching all the wood that we can.
Wasn't the question with him tackling, like, on physicality? Like, you see the fluidity, you see the ability to stay in phase. You saw that defending the pass, the 3rd and 4 on the first drive, the pass break up. I raised Williams down the boundary. You know, Savion Williams, we were asking in the preview whether he was going to have a big game. Didn't have a game at all, really, like complete nothing. So I guess it's the same what we were saying about the quarterbacks. You know, you want these players to show what you haven't seen from them, and what we saw from Samuel was what we've already know about him from his draft and how he's done before pre-injury, which is he's a great mover and he can stay in phase and make plays on the ball, but is he physical enough and can he tackle? And we don't have that answer. But he's not the starting cornerback.
Right,
always
his job
doesn't
really
matter. He's a second string at the moment. And he showed out in this game, and this is the best cornerback grouping we've seen since I can remember going into the season. So this is awesome.
But for me, like the main job of a cornerback is to break up the pass. It's not necessarily the physicality. It's, can he make a play on the ball? And yes, he had a great pass breakup. He had good early coverage in the first quarter inside the red zone. The dude looks like a steal so far from what we've seen both in this game against the Packers and in camp. You know, all the kind of camp footage that's come out has all been really positive. So if we can get this guy for nothing, that's a massive win in terms of the roster.
I don't know, man. You see Everett setting the edge and making tackles. Like you see him making plays in the run. What if Samuel's trying to set an edge and just gets blown past, and the guy goes and runs down for a touchdown? Then you'll be saying, "Oh man, what happened there?" So you know that's when it rears its head.
Don't get me wrong, I'm really high on Everett. Like, watching back again for the college show, some of the Georgia tape, like you just see Everett just pop off, make plays, and he's got that physicality. I love to see that. And equally, the point that you make about the Steelers' cornerback room has not been this deep in a long time. And even coming on to Slaughter, who we're going to mention in a minute, he had a brilliant game as well. Like, having 4 or 5 corners, that's not a bad thing at all. It's positive.
Yeah.
What we've been yearning for.
It is. Let's give Everett his dues. I mean, I thought Samuel had the best performance. I thought Everett wasn't far behind. 1 tackle, 3 assists. The play of the second quarter was playing soft, flipped his hits, got in phase to cover on that deep post route by Melton, make the pass break up. You know, that's what we saw. You know, we put out a video saying, why was he still available? Still not quite sure why he fell to the 3rd round.
No.
The way he stays in phase is elite. Like, it was in college, and we've seen it straight away. We play in this game, and he's doing it here. Like, he's a phase merchant. He just, even if he's beat, he recovers and gets back into phase and makes a play on the ball. That breakdown in space and tackle on the edge on that reverse, like the run game chops, but space play as well. The special teams on the tackle on punt return. The edge seal that I already mentioned, the run defense tackle in the 3rd quarter, he getting bumped off routes, but then coming back, man, exciting player for Everett. Like, he's going to be a starter. He's going to be quarterback. Why do I always say quarterback? He's going to be cornerback too. Cornerback too is his job.
How quickly do you think that can happen?
I think by the end of this season, I think he could have it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's SEC proven again, and the great pressure on McCord in the backfield as well, like with that sort of jumping up, arms in the air, like impacting the play, and like you said, the nice tackle near the line of scrimmage, and on the sort of blown coverage deep ball, Everett pretty much forced the wide receiver the wrong way. They were talking about that in commentary, and you can kind of see that. So I definitely think he's an impact player, and it's really exciting to see what he can do in season as well. You
mentioned Slaughter. Do you want to talk about Slaughter?
Yeah, so I think he made a few good plays. Let me find in my notes. Sorry, where I
Well, I
kind
can
of
tell
noted
you
on.
3 tackles,
So
1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass defense.
yeah, so I noted great tackle. He got his arm free to make a play on the ball. Moved easily into the backfield on the screen to force a tackle for loss and 4th down. There was the personal foul penalty on kind of 15 yards, but there was the combined. It was a Sawyer and Slaughter kind of really good pursuit against Tyrone Taylor. Great kind of potential ball force out, called incomplete. Good pursuit with Green Bay pushed back out to the sidelines, and he made the tackle as well. So I just think Slaughter overall had a really good game. I think he was really impactful. And I think the kind of plays that I saw reflected that.
Did get beat on the release inside by Reed for that 19-yarder. That was it. That was the only wrinkle we had. But the hit on the second quarter to jar the ball out was nice. Got off the block well to destroy that screen. So yeah, again, like 75-man roster, man, dude, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
if you're well, he'd be 5th cornerback, wouldn't he? Because you've got so JPJ, Jamal Dean, Asante Samuel, Dallin Everett. That's your 4. If Slaughter's your 5th and he's got the upside that he showed in this game, now obviously again it's against 3rd, 4th, 5th stringers, but if he can show that upside against 1st, 2nd stringers, then yeah, absolutely you're winning all day. And if he doesn't make the roster, then he's certainly a very interesting cat to have in the practice squad.
Did Castro show out a little bit more in this game?
Yeah, definitely.
1 tackle, 2 assists, filled in nicely on that run fit in the 3rd quarter. But I still haven't seen like the kind of aggression from Castro that I was expecting, and maybe that's why he's kind of like bouncing off of practice squads, and it's not like what's his role? What's Castro's role?
I don't know. I kind of feel like Spears Jennings showed more in this game.
Yeah, because he's not a pure nickel, is he? He's not a safety. I don't know what Castro is. I'd like him to have a role because
bit of a tweener in that role. Yeah, that's the issue. But I mean, could that work to Patrick Graham's benefit, knowing that you've got someone? You know, we say tweener, he sees versatility potentially. Who knows? But I don't think Castro is going to be on this 53 certainly. But yeah, had a couple of nice plays in this game. But yeah, just otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what his role is. Yeah.
Right. Special teams.
Being on the practice squad, it might seem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I saw just because he hadn't signed long since Israel Mukamu. How am I saying that?
Let's move on to safety then, shall we? Because he's a safety.
Oh, I thought we were doing safety because
Castro's a kind of hybrid guy, isn't he?
Mukamu. He's the bridge to safety. He's the bridge.
Okay,
well, no, I was just going to say he popped up late in the game with a big play, and I think he got a sack. Right, he kind of came in a rush, right?
Yeah, nice backside pursuit for the sack.
Maybe says more about some of what we can expect to see off the edge than about Mukamu himself. But showed good speed to get down there.
Interesting frame, right? He's like long, rangy, looks like a spider.
What's his background? Where did he come from?
He was from the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's got experience with McCarthy.
Yeah. But he's been out this week. He's banged up, so I don't know how much we'll actually see. He was injured on Saturday. So
hey, I think there's a space on this team for a genuine like deep safety if he can play it. I don't know if he's the guy. Like he made his plays from the box, so it'd be interesting to see if he can cover ground. I thought Jenkins had a decent game. Again, though, is he who looked more like a free safety out of these two, Jenkins or RSJ as well, because he made some plays from deep.
Yeah,
I think it's open competition for post safety.
It is
encouraged by RSJ. Yeah,
I think we said it a bit last week. I think we still feel that it's just going to be a bit of a not devalued, but like de-emphasized role in the scheme, right? It's going to be a lot of too high safety stuff and a lot of just split zone kind of just, we're not going to have too much of this traditional deep safety Minka Fitzpatrick style role.
You still need to be able to cover ground and have range and see into the future, though, to play split
guys
safety.
Have got to do that. Yeah, exactly. Both of those guys are going to have to do that. But we do. So maybe the point is you're saying that we don't have anyone that could do that, and we need two. In which case,
there's Ramsey, and then who else is there?
Right. It depends. Can any of these other guys play that role? I mean, you would hope that Robert Spears-Jennings could play that role. You would hope that Deshaun Elliott could play that role. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of both, isn't it? I mean, Deshaun Elliott's going to be playing in the box. That's what he does well.
Yeah, so the problem with both of those guys is, they can play deep, come downhill, but then as soon as someone makes a cut, they're left in the dead because they haven't got the change of direction.
Hasn't this been the problem sometimes with some of? I mean, Mike McCarthy's the offensive guy, so I guess it would depend who's in at DC. But I mean, this was the problem in Dallas, that they were just getting beat deep all the time. I don't know.
I think the thing is, we're starting with this scheme, and it's going to be very young. So, they've only had one draft to kind of put in place what they think they need. So that's going to develop over time, over the next 2-3 years. So, Patrick Graham's going to have his opportunity to be like, I need a guy that can do this, and he'll find that guy in the draft, and we'll end up taking that guy in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round next year. So I think we're going to develop that safety kind of ability that Gav's kind of got some concerns about in terms of the roster depth at the moment. I think that's going to come. It might not be there this year, but at least we've got the corner depth for a change, so we can maybe do things schematically and have more DBs in the backfield and play more man coverage and that kind of thing. But then equally, like, this seems to be, and we've talked about this a few times over the offseason, there seems to be that gap where you need that kind of old school free safety that's got that kind of ability to sort of see into the future, as Gav says.
I really feel like I know our job is kind of conjecture, but I feel like I need to almost like get to week 1 and see what the back end of this defense lines up and looks like, because I almost feel like we're not getting the full. We're not really getting a great indication of it right now, are we?
We're not. No, we need to get to week 1. You're correct.
I almost just don't know how to envision how a Deshaun Elliott is going to fit into this scheme that I've got a vision of in my head. How Deshaun Elliott's going to fit into that, with Jalen Ramsey potentially being the other safety, and we know that he's going to float around into the nickel. There's just a lot of things to kind of be cleaned up in my brain about where people are going to be lined up,
And preseason is deliberately tricking you as well with regards to how that vision looks in terms of what the week 1, week 2, week 3 defense looks like.
Yeah.
Is that our first game review of 2026 done?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
I think so.
There we go. Nice.
There we go. What did we learn? What's the biggest takeaway? It's the quarterback stuff. It's some excitement around Rubio. What are the bigger headlines really going into week 2 now? As we, what do we want to see continue?
I think it's all about the quarterbacks, isn't it?
It's just all. I know it's all about the quarterbacks. Yeah. Who else are the other big kind of things? Who's got a lot to win or lose in these games? I guess we were talking about guys like Jamin Davis potentially on the bubble. We're talking about what's going to happen in the safety room.
I think Caleb Johnson has got to find some way of getting something.
Yeah, can we scrape anything together with any of these running backs other than Lou Nichols? Can Lou Nichols, just
solidify,
do enough and solidify it and stay healthy and stuff and make that 53, because that's important as well.
I think that linebacker room has got questions in terms of where does Landon Roberts fit in? Does Carson Bruner stay in there, presumably for the special teams value? So, yeah, how does that overall 53 kind of shape up? And then the other big moment from this week, which I'd be remiss not to mention, was Jameson trying to help Rubio up to his feet and couldn't physically lift the guy. That was too funny not to mention. Had to get that in there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned. We might have done. Sorry, if because I've been a little bit distracted. You may have noticed. Roman Wilson. Did we mention him?
Not really.
Because if we didn't before, because I was surprised that nothing really happened with him. He actually played the most snaps of any receiver on the team, but didn't particularly show up in this game, which is just one. I don't know that it means a great deal, but it's just worth keeping one eye on, I think, as we head into the second game.
Definitely, yeah. If him and Bernard are in a battle here,
some production or something, yeah.
Yeah, all the talk,
the glowing, glowing
feel like
reviews.
Roman, but maybe the talk is a little bit of obfuscation,
Talk is cheap,
yeah. Maybe Jeremy is a little bit further ahead than we expected, so let's keep an eye on that competition.
So Roman Wilson had one reception for 7 yards.
Yeah.
Don't even remember it.
Exactly. That says a lot.
And I believe Jennings Dunkery's a little bit banged up, so we might not see him in this next game, right? As we kind of transition into talking
banged up
about
people.
this Jets game a
Look
little
like
bit.
Dale and Everett might not potentially be part of it. Like, it's a little bit of a banged up room, but we are the NFL team that is the 5th closest to a substation. As
Oh no!
This week.
Oh no!
Yes.
Okay.
So,
we don't do training camp there, so
no, but we're coming back now, aren't we?
Yeah.
The Trobe's finished now, so
all right. Slightly
God
concerning
help us all.
substation stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything you want to talk about? Because I said we don't want to, a lot of the storylines are the same, so we don't need to spend much time too much. We obviously play the Jets on Saturday.
I've got some
Saturday.
basic storylines for the Jets. I'll just give you the headline. If you want to talk about it, we can dive a little bit deeper. Number 1, Geno Smith might actually play.
Yep, he's slated to start.
Does that mean the Jets are treating those first series a bit more seriously?
Potentially. Yeah. But I think we're just focusing on youth by the looks of it.
Number 2, Breece Hall injury means that the running back depth gets real snaps. Any interest there?
Interesting to see, what's his name, Braylon Allen.
Ketts boy.
Defend against him, yes.
Hey, he's my boy. Is he Ketts' boy?
He was Ketts' boy in the draft.
I thought he was in my stable. Okay.
Number 3, David Bailey is the camp hype monster. Everyone's talking about it.
Good.
So he should be.
Even if he plays a little bit. So which tackle gets him? Will he expose some tackle?
It's fine. He's got no bend anyway. It's fine.
See what Bro Joe's got going on.
And finally, Jets secondary is banged up and unsettled.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned the secondary, because one thing we do need to point out, we cannot throw an interception in this game, because that would mean we are the first team to throw an interception to the Jets in well over a year at this point. So do not throw any picks, please, to the young quarterbacks. They'll be surely sniffing one out.
Well, Nashawn Wright, Quantez Stiggers, not a dude I'd heard of.
Do you know what's really strange? We're going to get into a bit metaphysical now. It must be just the name. I woke up this morning thinking about the name Quantez Stiggers.
Okay.
Literally, I swear to God, I woke up this morning in my head. I was like, Quantez Stiggers. I don't know why. No idea why.
And
That's so
D'Angelo.
strange.
Sound like Roshan Johnson.
That's so weird, isn't it? Why did
weird.
that happen?
Was it a name you've heard recently? Where have you heard it?
I just think it's a name that always sticks with me a little bit, probably because it's just one of the funnier names I remember in the NFL. So every so often when I think about funny names, it's goes. But this morning specifically, and it's just weird that you've said it today.
There you are.
Like this morning, I woke
Yeah,
up and
it's
the first
foreshadowing.
thing I thought about today was Quantez Stiggers for no reason.
I think he'd like that somebody's woken up and thought about it.
Probably not dreaming of it being Simon, but I guess maybe he'll take it. D'Angelo Pons as well, all out recently. And Pons not practiced because of calf issue. I don't know if it's come back. Stigger's in concussion. Collapsed.
That might be why.
Stigger, collapsed at joint practice. Maybe
Collapsed?
when he got concussion, part of his brain went through the simulation and
Maybe
into
we
you.
connected on a metaphysical level.
And then some other corners are out as well. So yeah, the corner depth not looking great for them. So is there an angle for some Pittsburgh receivers to go off? Is it a true
hopefully.
test? Who knows? Quarterback position. It's Clade. Oh, I've done it again.
Cade Klubnik.
Cade, cannot say this name. Cade Klubnik versus Zappi versus Cook. And it seems like Klubnik is in the driving seat right now.
I would expect him to be in that bloody room, yeah.
Wow, yeah. So that's interesting.
Zappi's got no zip. Brady Cook.
Right.
Meh. Cade Klubnik.
He's cooked, yeah.
Apparently, Isaiah Williams is ahead of Omar Cooper in the battle.
Yeah,
for
apparently
wide
Omar
receiver.
Cooper's been a little bit underwhelming, is the whisperings I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean he's not in the roster bubble, but a little bit under pressure to get that starting
Same
position.
about, I know it's a bit of a non sequitur, but just as we're talking about those receivers, the same about Mekhi Lemon, I'm hearing.
But he just hasn't practiced, has he? He's been injured, hasn't he? So,
Has he not practiced at all? I thought you. I don't know. Okay, fair enough. I thought I was hearing that people were just unimpressed.
yeah, just he's got hamstring issues, so yeah. Not as bad as Jordan Tyson, but yeah.
Minka.
He's not going to play, is he?
No, he won't play, but he's the anchor of this defense. So who's the other safety? Just mentioning that he's on this team. who is the other? Who's the other safety? Cisco was the guy we like. Malachi Moore's the youngster. Dane Belton's another dude, camp winner.
Wait, have they been playing Andre Cisco and they've not got an interception in over a year? Please tell me that's not the case. Andre Cisco was an interception monster in college. He was a ball hawk.
Yeah,
Why don't you go to the
played well
Jets?
in the
Syracuse.
played well in the box, I thought.
No, he was a flying, like, kind of ball hawking crazy dude.
Okay, Azaria Thomas as well. Played well against the Bucks, so he's one. He's a corner to look out for. But have I got any other notes here? Kicker, Cade York versus Jason Sanders. That's an open battle.
Cap's gone in on the kicker battle for preseason game week 2.
For the opposition.
For the Jets.
Well, what
Someone's hungry.
It's dull, but it's important.
To them, yeah.
Kicker is generally the second most important player on your team.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
You might have heard that from someone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people aren't putting Cade York as the second most important Jet, but there you go.
Apparently, I dropped exposed tackle at some point.
You did, yes. Big R.
Thanks, Tom, for putting me out on that one. That's all I've got for the Jets. They're such a terrible... oh, no, wait, I've got a little bit more. No, have I got anything? Brady Cook.
They played New Jersey.
Yeah, Tim Patrick's on this team. No, nothing else.
It's a lot.
Oh, Kenyon Sadiq, injured. I think he's injured. He missed most of camp with hernia.
Have you seen his sleeper headshot? As soon as I saw that, I was like, I can't draft this guy.
Really?
Yeah.
The front's good. Darrell Jackson. Oh yeah, the rookie we were all after. Mark.
Oh yeah, he's there now, isn't he? Yeah,
David Onyemata. Harrison Phillips. So there's good players on this team. Arnold Membu,
Really?
breakout guy. But yeah, it's just kind of they're just going to be people that the Steelers are trying to beat, isn't it? I'm not. It's not the team that I'm particularly interested in. The Jets.
I feel like in preseason, nearly 3 hours into this podcast, we can probably let people go.
We can probably let people go. Right. So what are we doing? Is that it? Are we done here, or does Mark? You had some things, or?
Well, I can probably save my thing. I don't know if Si, you wanted to do your...
Mine's too long, so we'll save it for the week where we've got nothing to do in between the season.
Yeah, we're close to 3. It's past midnight.
All right.
We'll see if they're evergreen, Mark. If yours is as well, we'll save them for the week in between.
Yeah, mine's evergreen, so it's all good. And there's nothing wrong with Kenyon Sadiq's sleep.
You just seen it? You seen it?
Yeah.
That's not a tight end. I'm going to be drafted. You draft him all you like.
What's wrong with it?
Not
Please
drafting him.
enlighten me.
You know what's wrong.
No, I have no idea.
Hang on.
He's bespectacled, goddammit. Take the glasses off for the photo or I'm not drafting you.
No, I have not got that photo.
Oh, no, really?
Nope.
Oh, I've got different photos then. Or they've changed it.
Or a different player.
Okay, all different player. Or I'm just looking at some totally different guy. Oh, man. This is what was that kicker called with the sports glasses a couple of years ago? What was that guy's name?
Oh,
Blankenship.
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 Roberto
Reed.
Yeah. No, not Reed.
Reed Blankenship, wasn't it?
Different Blankenship.
No,
No, you're thinking of linebacker.
Yeah, he's the Eagles linebacker. Yeah.
Common mistake.
It was Roberto, wasn't it? Yeah.
Roberto Blankenship, yeah.
Roberto.
Hi, I'm Roberto Blankenship. He and DK Metcalf played the same sport.
They've changed his photo to a Jets photo. Previously, he was in like a Blazer photo, like more of a college photo. And he had the glasses on. Now, with this photo, I would draft him. So this was a smart move by Kenyon Sadiq and his agents on Sleep.
You're going to hate Lenora Ellis when he comes out. But yeah.
And this is not a shot.
What's you up with 4 eyes, Mark?
No, I knew you were going to get. I knew you were going to get.
It's not my problem. It's Si's problem.
You're attacking Mark. Yeah. But Mark, what is your problem?
Sorry. What's your problem with 4 eyes, man? It's because you said about Lenora Ellis. Sorry, Mark.
No, I'm going to say this is not a shot at our bespectacled brethren. It's just that for the photo. Where it's the photo where you're like trying to look tough, right? And you just take the glasses off for the photo is what I'm asking. Like if you're gonna wear the glasses to see the tape, great. That's
the
good
photo
stuff.
where you look tough. Have you seen Patrick Mahomes' photo?
Yeah, but he takes them off. He looks like a mole. He's blinded, like he's got the little marks on his nose.
Have you seen Jared Goff's photo? Have you seen Trevor Lawrence's photo? None of these people look tough.
Well, hang on, you're picking quarterbacks. I mean, these are all pretty boys and stuff.
All right, have you seen Mike Evans doesn't look pretty tough in his. I'm just going through random ones
He's
now.
established.
Right.
He doesn't need to. They can look however they want. I don't know. Look, listen, all I'm telling you is when I take a good look at a rookie image on Sleeper, listen, the vibe scouters out there know it. I can tell you if he's going to be good or not. I don't need to watch a lick of tape on that guy to tell you.
Marion Hampton looks
Until he
like
takes
he's
those
looking
glasses off, he's going to suck.
Marion Hampton looks like he's looking at 2 different cameras at once. What's going on there?
Right, should we get out of it before we review
every
rookie Sleeper image?
Yeah, I won't start. I won't start looking. I was close to bringing it up on the stream, but it's like
no, it's too dangerous.
It's too late. It's too late, and yeah, we'll get a copyright strike or something again. So let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
All right. Shout out to everyone who joined us in the chat today. BC, who's getting involved. Jason, Tom, Alan, who was in, Lee, everyone else, Tom, Tim.
Gary.
Shout out to everyone doing a ton of work, as we said at the top of the show, over on uksteelers.com, on the newsletter, on the meetups. Really appreciated. Follow the show at UK Steelers Pod. Follow me at I Wrote This. Follow Gav at GM Boomop. Follow Ketts at Ketts UK. Follow Mac at Mesh NFL, all on Twitter. And we will see you next week.
See you later.
Cheers, guys.
JETS.
No.
Those guys suck.